Wake up, it's Chris in the morning light. On KAHI, a day starts right. Foothill news and a smile or two, with a dad joke fresh and the weather too. He's the voice of the hills, keeping it real. Local talk with hometown feel.
Hey, everybody!
So grab your coffee.
We just poured some hot water, actually.
It's Chris in the morning
pipes
with your
lubricated here.
daily news.
All right, Big Finish, and good Wednesday morning to you. It is March 25th, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 6 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. Come on, you know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills, Chris Quant, with you here, holding it down in beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic, and very, very spacious Studio A, KAHI Studios, downtown Auburn, peering through the Venetian blinds. Yeah, the world's still out there. It's still happening. Still moving around. The sun will rise, and if it doesn't, we've got a whole lot of other problems on our hand. But as we're getting started on this Tolkien Reading Day, what the heck? What does that mean? Should we all just be busting out Lord of the Rings right now? Turns out, interesting that the reason why it was in 3 books. Apparently, Tolkien wanted to have just be one ginormous story all the way through. Oh, would it have been like 1,000 pages? How thick would that book have been? It would have been like an encyclopedia. He wanted it to be one book. The publisher said, how about we do it this way? Which is why we have 3 books. But it was kind of an interesting reason why they decided to do that. We'll tell you about that here in just a little bit. Some fun facts around Tolkien, the creation of Lord of the Rings there. I don't know. I am a fan. Have I read all of the books? No, actually, I was watching a interview with Elijah Wood. Recently, he was talking to Stephen Colbert. Colbert, if for people who might not know, just a huge Lord of the Rings fan. This guy knows it inside, outside, backwards, forwards, upside down, and inside out. And so he's got the guy, Elijah Wood, played Frodo Baggins, for those that are familiar with the story, familiar with the films. Peter Jackson put that all together, and it turns out they were shooting all of the films at the same time. If you missed a month or so ago, we just kind of serendipitously happened on that it was the 25 years, Lord Almighty, since the films came out. So they had a little anniversary special at local theaters. So my wife and son and I, we caught the first one. And we thought, oh my gosh, they're just showing them just over the weekend. They're showing all 3 films. Of course, the extended director's cut. Duh. We're not going to just do the short version. No, we're going to do the whole long version. So we went to it, and it was beautiful at the beginning. They had Peter Jackson on there, and he was giving a little bit of telling a little bit about the film before they actually rolled the film. No, Adam, he wasn't in the theater. He was there. It was a pre-recorded video. You could tell he filmed it in his living room. It's hilarious. This big cinematic director of multi-million-dollar budget films. It's like, Peter, you couldn't have maybe cleaned up the laundry in the background there. I'm sure Peter doesn't worry about that. He doesn't think about that. And it's like, Peter, you shot it on your iPhone. Yeah, fair enough. Why not? Use the technology that you've got in front of you right there. Anyway, he was telling us all about how they shot the films all at the same time. So you have three films that will come out over the course of, I think it was something like 5 years. And he said it was quite the trip there. We would shoot a scene in Hobbiton there from the very first film. And then we go to lunch, and then come back in the afternoon, and then we shot the very last scene of the 3rd film. So you're seeing, he said, it was Sean Austin who was playing Samwise Gamgee, and he said, this is crazy. We just shot this scene that people will not see for about 5 years. When all is said and done and all of these are edited together and released in order. And it was kind of a trip to do all of that in this course of one day, to shoot these scenes that would be so far apart distance-wise from the time when they would be seen to when they were shot. So very, very cool. I don't know. I'm a nerd for all of that kind of behind-the-scenes stuff. I don't know if you are too, but it's very interesting to see. So Colbert is talking to Elijah Wood, who played famously Frodo Baggins. And he asked him, I guess he's had him on the show before, and he said, Have you read Lord of the Rings yet? And he got this Elijah Wood got this kind of embarrassed look on his face. He's like, listen. I know. I've done all of these films. I haven't read the books. He's like, but I have an update for you. And Colbert kind of moves to the edge of his chair and says, yeah. And he says, I have started reading the first book. So, listen, you gotta. They're a bit to get through. There's quite a bit, and we'll go into some fun facts around what Tolkien, how he started the whole process. I believe he was either it was him or C.S. Lewis that was a professor of medieval history. No, I think Tolkien was a professor of languages over there at what was he at over one of the big schools over there in England. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it turns out he just kind of did it on the side. So lots going on with Tolkien Reading Day today. Today is also, my gosh, if you're looking for a breakfast idea, Waffle Day, absolutely love it, and Medal of Honor Day. So we'll get to those here in just a little bit. But you know we love to do this at the top of the hour. If today is your birthday, well then may I hopefully be one of the first to say a happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day today. If you were born today, you share a birthday with one Howard Cosell, American broadcaster, journalist, and author. It seems appropriate. Wasn't he called baseball? I think he called baseball. Anyway, on the opening day, technically today, opening night tonight with the Giants playing the New York Yankees. Let's go. That'll be here on KAHI, by the way. I'll let you know what time that is when we get to our sports ball section here in just a little bit, probably at the bottom of the hour here. Howard Cosell, born on this day in 1918. Going back a little bit further, in 1901, Ed Begley, American actor, born then. Let's see, others include Aretha Franklin, American singer-songwriter, Queen of Soul. That's right, born on this day in 1942. Sir Elton John, speaking of musicians, singer-songwriter, born on this day, 1947. Danica Patrick, American race car driver, 1982. Catherine McPhee, American singer-songwriter and actress, 1984. So happy birthday to them, and happy birthday to you if today is your birthday. Again, I hope you have a fantastic day today on this, well, if you're looking for a fancy dinner day idea today, it's Lobster Newburg Day. It's also, like we said, Medal of Honor Day, Tolkien Reading Day, and Waffle Day. On this day in history, let's see, the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire in New York City killed 146 garment workers. Yeah, boy, if you don't know about that, that's such a tragic thing, and which was probably one of the ways that industry in America needed some reforming after that, and definitely did happen after that. In 1584, going back a little bit further, Sir Walter Raleigh is granted permission to colonize Virginia. And in 1969, John Lennon on this day and Yoko Ono staged their Bed In for Peace in Amsterdam Day. So there we go. Some other things that happened on this day in history as well. The first wiki, coming a little bit closer here, in 1995, 31 years. Is that 31 years ago today? Lord above. The world's first wiki site, WikiWeb, sounds like a Will Smith song there, was launched. The first tornado forecast happened on this day in 1948. The first successful tornado forecast was issued at Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma. Before this, tornado was a forbidden word in weather forecasts because officials didn't want to cause a panic. And discovery of Titan, all the way back in 1655, Dutch astronomer Christian Huygens discovered Saturn's largest moon. Since we talk tech on space quite a bit, which we love to do here, it's wild to think he did this with a telescope he built himself that only had a 50x magnification. And today is Venice's birth. Oh, so happy birthday to you, Venice, as well. 421 AD. Legend says the city of Venice was founded at noon today. It makes it 1,605 years old, and you're looking great there for being over a millennia there. So there we go. So lots going on today. Again, the Tolkien Reading Day. I am here for it. It is 9 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:09 a.m. Speaking of weather forecasts there, I don't think we have any tornadoes. Jeez Louise, I hope not in our future. Let's check in with meteorologist Tim Root to see how our weather's looking on this Wednesday. Timmy, how are we looking out there?
Wednesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies. The dry weather will continue. The high in the mid to upper 70s today. Southwest winds 6 to 12 miles per hour. Light variable winds tonight. Scattered clouds and low 50s by morning. It'll be in the mid-70s on Thursday with plenty of spring sunshine to go around. A little bit warmer, 75 to 80 Friday, mostly sunny skies in the forecast. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 10 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:10 a.m. When we come back, speaking of this Tolkien reading day, we're going to have some Tolkien trivia. Don't usually do trivia in the 6 o'clock hour, but why not? Let's get our brains working a little bit earlier here. We'll pay that off a little bit later on in the hour. Also, United, before we get to the Fox Business Report, United Airlines saying, stretch out a bit. Yeah, let's give you a little bit more leg room. We're gonna make it a little bit fancier here. Let's talk about that in just a little bit. I've been on some planes lately, and yeah, a little bit more leg room would be much appreciated. Back with more right after this.
KAHI AM and FM is once again your foothills home of Sacramento Kings basketball and Sharks hockey.
He winds up and throws down the jam of the night.
Join Gary Gerald for every Kings game this season on FM 104.5 and 950 AM, your home of the Kings and Sharks.
This is Jana from Jana Johnston Photography. I advertise on KAHI Radio because it helps me reach people throughout the foothills who are looking for the best pictures to capture their memories that will last a lifetime. Whether it's a wedding, engagement, graduation, or celebrating a newborn, KAHI Radio connects me with my target audience like only radio can. Thanks, KAHI.
To advertise your business on KAHI Radio, contact the KAHI sales staff at 530-885-5636 today.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you that Chris in the Morning really is the best way to start your day. And he's not paying me to say this at all. Wink. And yes, he really is holding it down in beautiful Studio A in the KAHI Worldwide Headquarters Studios, Monday through Fridays, 6 to 9 a.m. Chris in the Morning here on FM 104.5, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com. Now where is that $3 gift card he said he'd leave me for saying nice things about him? Man, that guy's a cheapskate.
Oh, come on. 12 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:12 a.m. Hey, Adam, you need to record some new spots there. Can you put that on your list of things to do? Those are getting a little bit old here. And hey, good morning to you, Shingle Springs. Currently 56 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 77 degrees. All right, before we get to the Fox Business Report, well, we don't normally do some trivia in the 6 o'clock hour, but why not? Let's get a little bit going on here, and we'll pay it off a little bit later on this hour. Speaking of Tolkien Reading Day, and I'll tell you why that is here in just a little bit. Turns out it has to do with the One Ring being destroyed. In honor of Tolkien Reading Day, can you name the 9 members of the Fellowship of the Ring? Can you? No looking it up. Don't ask Alexa. Can you just name? Just try and think off the top of your head. The 9 members of the Fellowship of the Ring, if you're a Lord of the Rings nerd like I am. Hey, before we get to our Fox Business Report here, I got some United Airlines, some airlines news here. Go ahead and lie down is what they said. Basically, if you're looking to stretch your legs out all the way on the flight, United Airlines announced several upgrades to its upcoming fleet of 250 new airplanes, offering more legroom, seats that lie flat, and souped-up amenities for those willing to upgrade. Well, I guess you got to upgrade there. All right, fair enough. Over the next 2 years, United will add a number of flights that cater more heavily towards premium customers. All right, most new Boeing 787-9 Dreamliners will include more premium seats than older airplanes, as well as previously announced Polaris Studio. It's a private hub that has ottomans for guests visiting the High Sky Oasis. The Sky High Oasis, I should say. These sections also include wine pairings and caviar with meals. Ooh, feeling fancy. All right. The Coastliner will also provide lie-flat seats for the first time on transcontinental flights. Ooh, well, that sounds cool. Next year, you'll be able to book a Relax Row. Now, this actually sounds like a dream here. Transforming 3 economy seats into a giant bed. Haven't we all thought about that? Like, oh, maybe nobody else in this row will show up and I can just stretch out. That would be absolutely amazing. It wasn't all good news, though. United CEO Scott Kirby warned that ticket prices might have to increase by 20% if jet fuel costs stay up near cruising altitude as a result of the Iran conflict. Looking at the big picture here, the second most profitable U.S. carrier joins other airlines in bolstering its premium offerings, hoping to squeeze out more money per seat. United said that premium revenue jumped 11% last year, while basic economy revenue fell 5%. So there we go in our K-shaped economy. And a little bit of news, if you're willing to pay for it, looks like United will give you a little bit more leg room there. But yes, 3 seats transforming into a giant bed and you could just sleep. Sounds fantastic. All right, it is 15 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:15 a.m. Let's turn it over now, as we do, to the Fox Business Report.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Oil prices are lower this morning, trading down more than 5.5%, trading over $87 a barrel. But gas is inching closer to $4 on average. AAA says it's at $3.98. Stock futures are surging. Dow Jones Industrial Futures up more than 500 points. This is all because of renewed hope of a deal to end the conflict in the Middle East after the Trump administration reportedly handed over a 15-point peace plan to Iran. The American dream, it's on hold for many Americans this morning. Mortgage rates hitting their highest levels since October, and that has mortgage demand down more than 10%, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association. And Sony and Honda slamming the brakes on a joint venture between the two Japanese companies, the pair discontinuing development and launch of 2 high-end electric vehicles. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Frank Lanza, invested in you.
What keeps you up at night? Is it the mysteries of the universe, the secrets of history, or maybe the stories no one else dares to tell? I'm Frank Morano, and I invite you to discover The Other Side of Midnight, where curiosity never sleeps. From the fascinating to the forbidden, we tackle it all. Catch the conversation weeknights from 2 to 6 a.m. right here on the Voice of the Foothills, FM 104.5 and AM 950. KAHI, the night is alive. Join us.
16 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:16 a.m. Here's another event for the calendar. Yeah, one for the grand kiddos. The kiddos there, it's going to be happening on Saturday, April 4th. So coming up pretty quick here, it's going to be at the Sierra Pool at Recreation Park. That's at 123 Recreation Drive here in Auburn. What are we talking about? Well, it's in the pool. It's in April. We're going to be talking about one thing. That's the floating egg hunt that's happening again Saturday, April 4th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Fun for all ages. Everybody wins. There's going to be family games and activities as well at the Heated Sierra Pool. That's at 123 Recreation Drive here in Auburn. That's at the rec park there. ARD is hosting its annual floating egg hunt. And again, the pool is going to be heated to 84 degrees, and 1,000 festive Easter eggs will be scattered throughout the pool. 8 participants are invited to go into the pool at a time, each with their own lane. Everybody stay in your own lane. Children who are unable to swim on their own will be able to swim in the shallower parts of the pool with an adult. Each child will have the chance to collect 10 eggs, all right, from the pool, which they can then turn in for candy and prizes. And check this out. There will be a lucky golden egg which is going to be hidden. Now, how they're going to hide that, I'm not quite sure, but they've got it figured out. The child who finds the golden egg will win a bike donated by Feed the Hungry of Auburn. The fee is $5 a family, and registration is at the door there, right at the pool there, and each child will leave with a prize. After the aquatic egg hunt, families are invited to stay for Parks and Rec staff games and activities. You can get tickets online ahead of time if you want to at auburnrec.com. That's auburnrec.com there. Again, it's the floating egg hunt that is happening on Saturday, April 4th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. there at Auburn Rec Park. Again, that's going to be at the Sierra Pool there. It's going to be heated to a very lovely 84 degrees, so not too shabby there. Let's make sure that we get it on the calendar. All right, 18 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:18 a.m. Coming up in our next segment at the bottom of the hour, the Giants played, or didn't play, the Kings played yesterday. The Giants are playing today. Come on, let's go. Baseball is back, baby. I'll let you know how the Kings did. I think they were away, so we can't light the beam, but we'll see what the final score was if you didn't hear it here on KAHI. Giants coming back tonight versus the Yankees. You can hear that game here on KAHI. Love it. Baseball is back. I am here for it. Off now to JT in the morning. I'll see you back here at the bottom of the hour.
Like this is, where did it go? Yeah. Here, preparation and attention to detail.
and not always following the detail, but being attentive to the details. Sometimes you can have attention to detail and still miss the detail. Sorry about that. That was Hakeem Jeffries. You may have heard in and under some things. We'll get back to him in a moment on this Tedsday morning, where we gather to you from the shores of the Mississippi. Not since Terry McAuliffe came to Mississippi and promised to employ hundreds of thousands of Mississippians to build his electric go-karts that he called cars, have so many people in Mississippi been viewing a Virginian with dubiousness. But we begin first with somebody who deals in the real. That is James Luck at jcsgold.com. Happy Tedsday, James. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, Joe, but not doing as well as gold and silver this morning. They're both strong in the green so far. Gold is up almost 2%, 1.75% to up $82 to $4,556. Silver is up 2% to $72.65. So both metals up strong so far this morning.
As we've said in the past, keep your hands and arms inside the roller coaster until it comes to a complete stop. But again, and I know in the stock market world, and I've got plenty of things that I could say about the way that Wall Street has been operating, especially as it relates to radio industry. But that's about, hey, it's up, buy low, sell high. Precious metals, as you've consulted people for 60 years, has been about stacking. It's been about having a position, right?
That's exactly right. That's why I say let's don't ride the roller coaster. Just buy your allotted amount, once every 2 weeks, once a month, once a quarter, whatever it is. Don't really pay attention to the up and down swings of gold and silver. Just stack it over time and build your position, build your portfolio of physical gold and silver to preserve your wealth for the long run and help fight inflation. Yep. Some people, like to look for those down days like we had yesterday and the day before. They like to look for those red days, the discount days, and that's when that triggers them to place their order and buy. Other people just buy on a certain calendar day of the month. But, whatever works best for you, that's what we're here for. We really want you just to build your overall position in gold and silver.
And that's a great point. I mean, certainly you want to know, and this is why we talk to you each morning, and you can go to jcsgold.com and see right there a live price board as to those things, those ups and downs, because you certainly want to say, hey, what is it you like to say, James? Gold is on sale some of these mornings?
That's right. Gold is on sale or a discount for sure. And I was even telling a client on the phone the other day that said, it's it's not my doing. It's on sale, and my prices adjust accordingly. So take advantage of those dips. Absolutely.
Well, and that's the advice you get. And this is why I say, as much as everyone seems to have an opinion about, how much or if you even should be in gold or silver investing, I say talk to a family. Don't call a call center. Don't get put on hold. Talk to a family. You can call them after 10 a.m. Eastern time at 434-979-COIN. That's 2646. And to see what I mean, it's a family business. jcsgold.com. You have a great morning, James.
Thanks, Joe. You too.
Here in Vicksburg, Mississippi, this email comes in from Jan, who said, laughed out loud, having lived in Hyannis. I didn't think there was another enclave with so many members of the Army Corps of Engineers as Hyannis, Massachusetts. I don't know if it may be different now, but I think the Army Corps of Engineers is actually based here in Vicksburg. As we come to you from the banks, we've left it's river to river to river. Is there a river? It's a big lake. I know there's a big lake in Grapevine, Texas, where we're headed, but it's certainly not as notable as the Tennessee Valley or the Mississippi River. Andy, guy who knows a little bit about stacking gold and silver, is on the line with us from Florida. Good morning, Andy. How are you doing?
Yeah, I wish I had converted all my wealth to constitutional money a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Which goes back to is, when you have the velocity of money like 52 times a year and using just constitutional money, you can eliminate all these monetary problems. And staying out of war is just another good way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're coming up. I think in 4 years, 5 years, we're going to come up the end of the Revolutionary War. And I actually grew up right there where that war ended.
Yorktown.
The French saved our butts with the sailing ships that were coming up and stopped off. They would escort their own largesse that they had grown in the Caribbean, mostly, I think, and they would escort this stuff up because people would steal stuff even back then. And so they stopped off and destroyed the British Navy at Yorktown.
Well,
and a lot of people
far be it for the French to put down the opportunity to battle with the British there, and we finally put an end to that after World War II.
They meet every 3 years with. There's a society. I qualify, but I'm not part of it. But Dr. Brad Weeks is, and so I'm just know this. They remind us what they did for us, and so there's more of a tie with French. The French than
Lafayette did because right near my house, in a place called Boyd's Tavern, General Lafayette did a tour of this new country that his country's intercession helped create. Was on his way to Monticello to visit with Thomas Jefferson at home there, and stopped right down the road from my house in Fluvanna, Virginia. It's a place called Boyd Tavern, and it's just a little plaque on the side of the road. Lafayette was here. What? But you realize how important Central Virginia was to changing the world. I mean, really, because what we did 250 years ago in Philadelphia changed the whole course of the planet.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we should be the shining star, and yet we've allowed, these Hegelian Marxist types to do what they've done. I would point people to look at the new publications that are coming out from the Mises Institute. They call it the year of Rothbard. I've been, and my friend Patrick, who I've known since he was probably 25 or so. When I first heard him talk, I was like, this dude's got, he has it going on. Together.
I've got the news here going on here. Hang on a second, Andy, as we come to you from the banks of the Mississippi in Vicksburg, and Leo writes in, what did Terry McAuliffe try to do in Mississippi? Oh, you don't even want to know.
Did you know that healthy arteries make a gas? Yes, actually 3 known gases. Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch, and nitric oxide is a gas that's readily made all day long to keep our arteries open by relaxing the blood vessel walls. By doing this, our circulation is increased, bringing blood, oxygen, and nutrients to every part of your body. Both age and poor diet can lead to a loss of this precious gas, and in turn, blood pressure can go up, energy can go down, and you can get tingling in your hands and feet. Well, our product, Ultimate Nitric Oxide, can easily help fix this lack of nitric oxide. Go to TotalWellness.com. That's TotalWellness.com, where we are helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
In today's troubled world, our USA Armed Forces stand ready to protect you, your family, and our American way of life. When veterans return to civilian life, they deserve your recognition and support. You can help put vets to work by donating your car, truck, or van to Patriotic Hearts. Your donation will directly support programs to help vets find jobs or even start their own business. Donate today for fast, free pickup of your vehicle, running or not. Operators are standing by to answer questions about making a tax-deductible vehicle donation. Find out how you can make a difference in the life of a United States veteran. Call 800-209-4580 for 24-hour response. Call 800-209-4580. 800-209-4580. That's 800-209-4580.
And good Wednesday morning to you. It is March 25th, and it is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:30 a.m. Hey, good morning to you, Auburn. Currently 58 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 77 degrees. All right, there's the sports ball music. Let's get right into it, starting on the hardwood in the NBA yesterday. Kings playing away. They were playing at Charlotte versus the Charlotte Hornets. Here's what it sounded like courtside.
Small things here in the second quarter have been really impressive. Renaud hits his first three-pointer.
Renaud from way downtown sinks the three-pointer. Unfortunately, at that point, the Kings are behind 39-55 in the second quarter, and the Kings were not able to get the W there. After all was said and done, lose that one to the Hornets, 134-90. So unfortunately, didn't get the W there. Kings off today. They'll be playing Orlando at 4 p.m. on Thursday. You can catch all of the action here on KAHI. Orlando Thursday at 4 p.m. Again, you can catch all of the action here on KAHI. Other scores around the NBA yesterday: Knicks over the Pelicans, 121-116. Cavaliers over the Magic, 136-131. And the Nuggets strike gold and win over the Suns, 125, but just barely to 123 there. Oh boy, Major League Baseball is back, baby, and that is starting tonight with the Yankees and the Giants. Giants hosting the Yankees at home at Oracle Park there. It's going to be about, 55 degrees out there, so if you're heading out there, bring a jacket for opening day, 5:05 p.m. tonight, happening, and you can hear the broadcast here on KAHI. Come on, let's go. Giants versus the Yankees at home hosting. Let's hope we can get a W here for opening day. And then opening day will be tomorrow with lots of games happening tomorrow. But here's the one you need to know about tonight. Giants versus the Yankees at home. That's going to be at 5:05 p.m. Hear all of the action here on KAHI. All right, we will be back with your KAHI weather right after this.
Strictly Toyando's on Stadium Way, just behind Placer High, is committed to providing their customers with excellent service, period. Now, they understand that automotive maintenance and repair is neither convenient nor fun. They value their customers and always put them first, listening to problems and helping find solutions. In addition to Toyotas and Hondas, Strictly Toyando's also services Subaru, Nissan, and Infiniti, as well as all other domestic vehicles. Stop in at Strictly Toyando's at 135 Stadium Way in Auburn or call them at 887-0808. Strictly Toyando's.
Wednesday weather forecast has called for mostly sunny skies. The dry weather will continue. The high in the mid to upper 70s today. Southwest winds 6 to 12 miles per hour. Light variable winds tonight. Scattered clouds on the low 50s by morning. It'll be in the mid 70s on Thursday with plenty of spring sunshine to go around. A little bit warmer, 75 to 80 Friday. Mostly sunny skies in the forecast. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 33 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:33 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we're going to have your KAHI news, more events for the calendar, also your California Ag Report. Next hour, dad jokes. You can send your dad jokes in now live at KAHI.com, L-I-V-E at KAHI.com, or call 530-885-3565 on this Tolkien Reading Day. Why is that? Well, it has something to do with Mordor and the One Ring being destroyed. But in honor of Tolkien Day, we had some trivia we said a little bit earlier. Can you name the 9 members of the Fellowship of the Ring? Anybody? No asking Alexa. No, can you get them? Well, here they are. If you didn't think of them off the top of your head, I'll let you know. There was Frodo, Merry, Pippin, Sam. Those were the hobbits there. Aragorn, Gandalf, Legolas, Gimli, and Boromir. There we go. Those were the 9 members of the Fellowship of the Ring. All right. It is 34 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:34 a.m. Back now to JT in the morning. I'll see you back here in just a little bit.
Independence from Virginia. Again, first thing today. by Joe Thomas on the Talk Media Network.
So we'll get back into what present the president might have received from Iran, and who is he negotiating with if it's not with the Ayatollahs and the Council of Experts, and what country couldn't be run? And you know there are Democrats out there who watch this transition of power and probably will watch it again. This Council of Experts, the theocratic leaders of Iran, picking and choosing who the leaders are. Hakeem Jeffries is sitting there right now thinking, gosh, what a great way to pick people for these offices, because Tallarico wouldn't be running in Texas if that's how the Democrat Star Chamber worked. Andy was on the line with us when we had to head to the news. We were talking about, 11 Mises to Pieces and the Mises Institute. You thought about taking a swing past Auburn to visit them on our way, but time is short and gas supplies, have to keep us on a straight line as much as possible, Andy, there. But the free market ideology, and we were talking about this, it is about things like the Strait of Hormuz and making sure it's open. Kareem wrote in earlier talking about Eisenhower and how he stood up to France and England over the Suez Canal and Abdel Nasser and the nationalization of the Suez Canal and coming up with a peaceful solution to how that was going to operate, because that Suez Canal situation could have gone just as badly as the situation in Iran wound up going.
Got it. I drove to for Ed Griffin's 90th birthday. I hand delivered a copy of Cronyism, although they weren't taking any gifts at all. His son took that. He recognized me from a previous Red Pill Expo. So,
and let people know who. I mean, I've met Ed Griffin. Let people, listening, saying, "Who the heck is Ed Griffin? Is he related to Kathy Griffin?" No, he is not related to Kathy Griffin, not ideologically, anyway.
Yeah, but had a private investigator who found Linda Horde after 17 years of disappearing, and who was also a K Griff, but different family tree. Anyway, I would regularly have people fly off, when I was traveling, because I'm a known enemy of the state. They would actually fly off with my airplane, or just delay flights and stuff, so I couldn't get to things. But I actually drove from Sarasota, Florida to Lafayette, Louisiana for Ed's birthday. And that's how much I needed to be there, and hand delivered a book that I helped publish, or it was I've always Patrick Newman's work is incredible,
and it's an important one. Cronyism is everywhere. This is why you get those political actors I was talking about, like this Tallarico fella. What was the line that Adam in San Antonio said? I always knew this guy tucked his shirt into his underpants.
That's hilarious.
Yep. Anyway,
so let's go. Who's apparently the little ladies are still active. The dudes didn't
the women's Sweet 16, the University of Virginia. Real compelling to me, because Dawn Staley, who's just killing it as South Carolina's head basketball coach, she is a legend at UVA. She's had her new number retired. That'd be interesting, because I know they've played one another kind of like in exhibitions, because South Carolina has for years been just far and above UVA in terms of women's basketball. So they've played sometimes, but I don't think for this kind of import, it would be really interesting to see if you get in. I think if they make it to the Elite Eight, South Carolina would face UVA in the Elite Eight, and that would make some great TV anyway, at least in Virginia. And then you got Kenny Brooks, who's also out of Central Virginia, grew up in Harrisonburg.
Yeah, he played for Lefty.
Right, at James Madison University, yeah, and
that was probably the second or third. Lefty was the head coach at Davidson, and he had he coached Terry Holland. I still have my Terry Holland recruiting letter from Davidson.
And
So,
by the way, when Andy says lefty, he doesn't mean Hakeem Jeffries. He means lefty Drizel, the basketball coach. Good stuff, Andy. I appreciate it, my friend.
Hey, you just keep doing what you're doing.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna just I've got O'Keefe, like he's connected with people who have more money than I do too.
I'm hoping to see O'Keefe at the CPAC when we get there later today. I
don't keep his schedule.
Well,
but I do get
this is
texts from him directly.
This is what Matt Schlapp told us about CPAC this year when he was on with us last week, is that this is all about folks like O'Keefe who are out there, catching them in the act of being themselves, getting the grassroots growing, and all of that from the ground up stuff, school boards and things like that. So good stuff, my friend. You keep
one final thing. Just consider yourself one of those 5 people that I trust.
Wow, that's a pretty good list. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate it, my friend.
All right, man. Thank you all. Stay safe.
Always. 434-882-4217. That was our phone number, emails, text messages, however you want to come into us. Text messages come into the same phone number. You can also hook up with us, email jtinthemorningradio@gmail.com. I was talking, Michelle Steeb was on with us, and we were talking about mental health care. And it's one of those things, and Trump has got a thing going on, or at least the CPAC folks, health care and mental health care going into the second 2 years of the Trump administration. And she was talking about, the failures under the touchy-feely, we love everyone, Obama.
He promised this would end homelessness in a decade. And now we're 12 years later, it's gone up almost 35%. It's been a massive, massive failure.
Well, I can recall back when he started to talk about this, and I said, how is this, going to help? And it didn't make any sense, perhaps with the exception of Obamacare. What they were saying just didn't make any sense, as in, how are you going to make it work? How are you even making the argument that it would work there? So talk about some of those policies and what President Trump is trying to do to undo them.
Sure. So in 2013, President Obama, and I want to actually step back a little bit further because you brought up the point about government. Can it do this well? Clearly, it can't. And let me just take you back a little bit in history. About even 20 to 25 to 30 years ago, as it related to the homeless population, it was really the faith-based community that provided programs and services that, to address these people's ills. And slowly but surely, the government crept in and started to take over this issue area, the homelessness, as well as many others, as we know, across across the portfolio of issues that our nation struggles with.
Yeah,
and they have done it so poorly, but they've become the largest. The federal government is the largest funder of homelessness now. The faith-based community has been sidelined,
I want to poke into that for a second, because I think there is a pathway, and they do themselves dirty to this. By the way, Michelle Steeb on with us from the author of the book Answers Behind the Red Door, and it's called the Northern California Discovery Institute Fixed Homeless Initiative. But Michelle, I want to make sure you're clear. Don't call me Shirley. Oh, yeah, she wasn't ready for that one. But if you poke around at what she's talking about, is the faith-based community has had the most success because they have the ability to address homelessness, mental health, addiction, all of these things that kind of masticate together with one another and create a singular looking issue.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Now, don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to TotalWellness.com. Supplements made for physicians, only now available to you too. TotalWellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Increase fuel economy up to 7.9% with Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme. The solution to maximize your engine's performance and fuel economy. Whether you're driving a sports car or a daily commuter, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with PEA to deep clean. Don't settle for an average driving experience. Upgrade to Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme and go further on each tank. Order now on Amazon or HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
And good Wednesday morning to you. It is March 25th, and it is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 6:45 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Grass Valley. Currently 56 degrees right now, looking for a high today. Very nice, 74 degrees out there. All right, let's talk about another event for the calendar. Speaking of Grass Valley, let's talk about this glass-blowing taster experience. Make a garden gazing ball, drinking glass, or a bud vase. What's going on here? Well, hey, listen, maybe 2026 is your year of saying, you know what, I'm gonna start doing some hands-on stuff. I'm gonna learn how to make some stuff. I haven't been a maker. I haven't been a creator in a while, or maybe ever. Or maybe I have, and I just want to learn a new skill. Well, now's your chance to do that, and the Curious Forge is starting the year off strong, and they are not backing down here. Here's another chance to do a hands-on activity, learn a new skill. Come experience the magic of glass blowing at the Curious Forge. That's at 13024 Bitney Springs Road there, Building 9 in Nevada City. It's going to be $65, so not too bad there. You got to get the materials there. You're going to pay, a little bit to learn a new skill. But it looks like some of the stuff that I'm seeing, some pictures that have been creative, it looks beautiful. Glass, that looks like an intense job, but boy, does it look like a lot of fun. You can call them at 530-446-2777. That's 530-446-2777 if you want to find out more information, or email Spark at thecuriousforge.org there. It's for all ages. It's going to be in Nevada City there. Now, this 30-minute taster session, your opportunity to experience glass blowing hands-on. You'll make a colorful garden gazing ball, a drinking glass, or a bud vase. This is all in 30 minutes? Really? Wow. You can find a time that works for you there, and call them for more information. Again, this one we're looking at is going to be on Tuesday, March 31st. From 1:30 to 4:30 is going to be some time in between there. Call them for more information or shoot them an email there. But yeah, you'll have a chance to slot into a 30-minute time slot there between 1:30 and 4:30 p.m. Pre-registration is required. You can reserve your space with a ticket there. Again, it's $65 a person. And it's for adults and teens 14 and plus there. Again, it's going to be at the Curious Forge at 13024 Bitney Springs Road, Building number 9 in Nevada City. Again, probably best bet is to give them a call if you want to go and experience this. You can also go to gonevadacounty.com, look at the events for more information, or email them spark at thecuriousforge.org, or again, phone number 530-446-2777 for the glass blowing taster experience. 30 minutes. You're going to get to see some glass blowing techniques, even help out and get either a garden gazing ball, a drinking glass, or a bud vase. Looks very, very cool here at the Curious Forge. And again, that's going to be on Tuesday, March 31st. All right, we'll be back with your KAHI News right after this.
How would you like to add energy and youth to your life? Maybe we can help with that on Pop Talk this week. Hi, Mary Jane Pop here. When cancer strikes, how do you deal? And is there a path to cope? Also, women fought for leadership, but they paid the price. Could it be burnout? How to deal? And do you feel like some days just suck? Well, we'll find ways to deal on Pop Talk, Saturday 5 to 7 a.m., Sunday 9 to 11 p.m., and 24/7 at KAHI.com. Click on Listen, and we'll talk.
And here's your KAHI News for Wednesday, March 25th. I'm Chris Quant. Lockdown lifted at Placer County High School after campus shooting threat. This is from the Sacramento Bee. Granite Bay High School and nearby schools were placed on a precautionary lockdown Tuesday after campus staff received a threat of a shooting at the school. Sheriff's deputies searched the entire campus and found no threat, the Placer County Sheriff's Office announced at 2:10 p.m. on Tuesday. Granite Bay High staff received the threat of a shooting at the school at 12:15 p.m. Tuesday at the campus on Grizzly Way in Granite Bay, sheriff's officials announced in social media posts. The high school was immediately placed on lockdown. A sheriff's school resource officer was on the campus at the time and, quote, began working to ensure everyone on campus was safe and that there was not an active shooter, unquote, sheriff's officials said. Explosion reported before garage fire spreads to Orangeville home. This is from Fox 40 News. Fire crews responded to a residential structure fire Tuesday afternoon in Orangeville that began in a garage and spread to a neighboring home. According to the Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District, firefighters were dispatched at about 4:47 p.m. to the 8600 block of Quail Oak Way. When crews arrived, they found a single-family home heavily involved in flames originating from the garage. Metro Fire said firefighters launched an aggressive fire attack while conducting a primary search to ensure no one remained inside the residence. The fire extended to a nearby home, prompting additional efforts to contain the spread. According to fire officials, the homeowners were inside when the fire started and reported hearing what sounded like an explosion coming from the garage. When they went to investigate, they found the area already engulfed in flames. Both occupants evacuated safely and called 911. At this time, no injuries have been reported. Fire officials said a working smoke alarm activated during the incident, providing an early warning that helped the occupants escape. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Authorities reminded residents to evacuate immediately in the event of a fire and call 911 from a safe location, noting that early detection and quick action can be life-saving. Back with more news after this.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It's the energy all around you. Lightning and the thunder. The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Do you hear that? And that? And that? Those are the sounds of a healthy and vibrant community. And to this United Way volunteer, nothing sounds better. They're the sounds of children being given greater chances to succeed in school. The sounds of neighbors receiving the support needed to overcome challenges, both big and small. They're the sounds of families gaining access to quality health care and nutritious food for their tables. And they're the sounds of members of our community who've benefited from United Way's financial education programs. See, wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. People working together to respond and growing the good for everyone. United is the way. So join us by getting involved or giving back. Learn more at unitedway.org.
And the Sundance final scene sets the hills.
I love California. I love the mountains. I love the sunsets. I love the foothills. Oh, speaking of which, join me every Saturday at 8 p.m. for Rewind, featuring the stars you grew up with. Oh, by the way, my name is Jimmy J. We've been doing this for a long time. If you haven't heard the show yet, check it out. This Saturday, 8 p.m., Rewind on the Voice of the Foothills, AM 950, KAHI.
Continuing now with your KAHI News from the Morning Brew. Pentagon deploying 3,000 troops to the Middle East. According to the Wall Street Journal, the Defense Department plans to deploy 3,000 soldiers from the U.S. Army's 82nd Airborne Division to support the operation against Iran. A decision to put boots on the ground in Iran hasn't been made, the Wall Street Journal reported, but deploying the 82nd to the region reportedly gives President Trump several strategic options. Meanwhile, Pakistan offered to mediate talks between the U.S. and Iran, though the New York Times reported that Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is pushing Trump to continue the war. Senate nears deal to fund the DHS and TSA delays. The Senate and the White House are close to a deal to fund the Department of Homeland Security that could improve the airport delays due to TSA staffing shortages, CNBC reported, citing a Trump administration official. The deal would fund all of the DHS except the Immigration and Customs Enforcement budget, which Democrats have refused to bankroll until reforms are made in the wake of the killings of 2 U.S. citizens by immigration enforcement officers in Minneapolis. If the deal is approved, Republicans would then seek to fund ICE through a separate process that would not need Democratic support. The DHS has been shut down since February, leading to hours-long security lines at several major airports across the U.S. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. Meta violated New Mexico state law and must pay $375 million in damages for failing to protect users from child predators, a jury found yesterday. Apple confirmed its Maps app will begin showing ads this summer. Senator Elizabeth Warren sent a 12-page letter to Mr. Beast requesting details about his plans to expand into financial services. Nintendo reportedly cut production of its Switch 2 due to weakening demand for the game console. NASA canceled plans to put a space station in lunar orbit and will instead build a $20 billion base on the moon, the agency's chief Jared Isaacman said. And OpenAI is shutting down Sora, its TikTok-style AI video app, just months after it launched, as the company refocuses around business and coding. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is heyday, meaning the period of a person or thing's greatest success or popularity. Heyday. And that's your KAHI News for this Wednesday, March 25th. I'm Chris Quant. On now to the California Ag Report.
It's time for California Ag Today on the Ag Information Network. I am Haley Ship. What if farmers could grow crops that fight disease without sacrificing yield? Researchers say that idea could soon become reality. Plants have immune systems, but when they switch on to fight pests or disease, growth slows down. That trade-off can mean smaller crops and tighter margins. But now, scientists at Colorado State University say they have found a new way to change that balance. By adjusting plant hormones, what they call the plant's chemical brain, they can keep crops growing while still defending against disease. In lab studies, the team restored levels of a hormone tied to growth. The plants not only continued to grow, they also became more resistant to disease. Researchers believe this could be applied to major crops like corn, wheat, and soybeans, helping reduce the need for pesticides and fertilizers. Next, the work moves into the real fields. Scientists are partnering with breeding programs to test these traits in different regions. If it holds up, it could mean stronger crops, better yields, and a more sustainable future for agriculture.
Today, we're talking with aphids and whiteflies about Safina insecticide from BASF.
We just got nailed with it.
So tell us, how you feeling?
Really, really weird.
And you still want to devour this field?
No way, bro.
There you have it, folks. Safina insecticide is specifically engineered to disorient aphids and whiteflies, so they can't eat. And when they can't eat, they can't destroy.
Help protect your alfalfa from aphids with Safina insecticide. Always read and follow label directions.
California farmers know there's no margin for error when it comes to irrigation. Rising electric costs, an uncertain grid, and aging diesel engines put your yield at risk. Propane-powered irrigation engines deliver high performance with fewer emissions than diesel and reliability the electric grid can't match. Upgrade to propane and earn up to $10,000 by submitting performance data through the Propane Farm Research Program. Learn more at propane.com/farm funding.
This is California Ag Today on the Ag Information Network. I am Haley Ship. For more ag news, check us out online at aginfo.net.
If you like quality, let's talk Amish.
The Amish furniture craftsman starts with the finest hardwood, shaping and molding the raw materials into a one-of-a-kind work of art.
Amish furniture will last a lifetime, right, Nova? Yes.
Naturewood Home Furnishings offers the largest selection of surprisingly affordable Amish furniture.
With Amish, your choices are endless.
All Amish furniture is on sale. Naturewood, the building with the water wheel.
Tell them Brooklyn, Nova, and Orion sent you.
Did you ever wonder where we get a word like muckety-muck? How about the whole kit and caboodle? I'm Martha Barnett, along with Grant Barrett.
Each week on Away with Words, we try to solve linguistic mysteries.
And we invite you to call us with your questions about language. We want to hear from you about words and phrases, regional dialects, grammar, or maybe that weird family expression you grew up with.
So join us on Away with Words, Saturdays and Sundays at 7 p.m., here on the Voice of the Foothills, AM 950 KAHI.
FM 104.5 K283CM Auburn and AM 950 KAHI Auburn.
Wake up, it's Chris in the morning light. On K-High, a day starts right. Foothill news and a smile or two, with a dad joke fresh and the weather too. He's the voice of the hills, keeping it real. Local talk with hometown feel.
Here we go.
So grab your coffee, don't hit snooze.
A nice hot beverage.
It's Chris in the morning with your
ice beverage. It's been hot outside. Lord have mercy. And good Wednesday morning to you. It is March 25th, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 7 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills. Chris Quant with you here, holding it down. A beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic, and very, very spacious Studio A, KAHI Studios, downtown Auburn. Peering through the Venetian blinds. It's getting light outside. We'll see what kind of day we have in store here in just a little bit with meteorologist Tim Root. Let us know what our weather forecast is looking like today. And again, if we're nice to him, he might let us know the next couple of days. Looking forward to it here to see what Timmy's got in store, in tap, on whatever, online, whatever he's got. Words, don't fail me now. As we're getting started here on this 7 o'clock hour on this Tolkien reading day. You know I'm here for it. Big fan. Lord of the Rings. I remember reading The Hobbit. Did they make us read that in junior? I don't think it was in junior high. I think it was in high school. I remember trying to slug through that book. And like most books for me, reading when I got started, it's like, oh my gosh, it takes, you gotta get like the flywheel going where it's like, all right, a lot of prose, a lot of exposition, but then you start to get into the meat of the story. It's like, oh wow, I can really get into this book and absolutely love The Hobbit. Then I never went on. I don't think I ever read the other books. I was listening to an interview with Elijah Wood recently, and he was being interviewed by Stephen Colbert, who knows the Lord of the Rings inside, outside, upside down, all over. And he's like, wait a minute, you've played this iconic character, Frodo Baggins. You played him across all three stories there. And you've not read the books yet. And he sheepishly admitted, he's like, no, but I have an update for you. I have started reading the first one. Listen, I don't think it was it wasn't on the job application, Producer Adam, if he had read the books or not. Actually, I don't think Ian McKellen had read the books either before he started. And then he read them all before he played Gandalf there, and I think he actually had a copy of the books in the pocket of his wizard costume there, and he would refer back to him. It's actually kind of cool to hear the different juries. Listen, he just had to be an actor. He had to say the lines. He had to portray the character, right? And there was no, I think, prerequisite that he had to read the books, although it maybe would have been nice. But yeah, it's Tolkien Day today, Lord of the Rings Day, celebrating apparently on this day. It's in Middle Earth lore. I guess fans have chosen it. This is the day that the One Ring was destroyed and the Dark Lord Sauron was finally defeated. It's the ultimate victory day for Middle Earth. So apparently it was on this day. I don't know if it was a nice spring day on Mount Doom there, but it's the day that Frodo and Sam reached the mountain there. After an epic struggle, the ring was destroyed, and peace apparently was restored again on Middle Earth. So I got some fun facts around Tolkien here, and the book there. Apparently, he wanted it to be one ginormous long book between Fellowship of the Ring all the way to the Return of the King. The publisher said, no, we're going to do it a little bit differently. We'll talk about why they decided to make that decision here in a little bit. Kind of interesting, and some other fun facts around that. But before we get to that, we love to do this right at the top of the hour. If today is your birthday, well, then may I say a happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day today. If you were born today, you share a birthday with Ed Begley, American actor born on this day in 1901. Howard Cosell, American broadcaster, journalist, and author, born on this day in 1918. He called baseball, right? One of the baseball broadcasters there. Speaking of baseball, baseball is back today, baby. If you didn't hear in the sports ball section last hour, Giants hosting the Yankees at home tonight. I am here for it. We'll let you know again in the sports section there in the 8 o'clock hour what time you can catch that here on KAHI. But just know, Giants are back at, I believe it's around 5 p.m., but I'll verify that here in a little bit. Here on KAHI, love that baseball is back. Other birthdays include, let's see, Aretha, the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, born on this day in 1942. Paul Michael Glasser, American actor, 1943. Speaking of musicians, Sir Elton John, English singer-songwriter, 1947. Jeff Healey, Canadian singer-songwriter, guitarist, 1966. Danica Patrick, American race car driver, 1982. And Catherine McPhee, American singer-songwriter and actress, born on this day in 1984. So happy birthday to them, and happy birthday to you, and also happy birthday to Venice. Boy, you're looking great for being about 1,600 years old. Legend has it that on this day at noon, Venice was established. They started, driving in the first logs there into the marshy land. Today at noon, it makes it 1,605 years old. Not bad for a run for a city built on wooden piles in a lagoon. Turns out, I was watching some sort of documentary or something on that, and those have basically, being in the water there, however it works out there, that whatever kind of water that is, that all of those logs, it's absolutely incredible. It basically petrified, which gives it that foundation, but it's absolutely incredible. Other events that happened today on this day in history, going back to 95, the first wiki in 1995. Gosh, that's 31 years ago. My gosh. The very first wiki on the site WikiWeb, sounds like a Will Smith song from the 90s there, launched. And the first tornado forecast happened in 1948. The first successful tornado forecast was issued at Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma. Before this, tornado was a forbidden word in weather forecasts because officials didn't want to cause a panic. And the discovery of Titan, let's go back to 1655, way back in the Wayback Machine there. Dutch astronomer Christian Huygens, Huygens discovered Saturn's largest moon. And he basically did that with a telescope he built himself that only had a 50x magnification. So there we go. Today is also Manatee Appreciation Day. It's the last Wednesday in March. It's a fun, lighthearted did you know topic here for us. Sailors used to mistake these 1,000-pound sea cows for mermaids. Okay. Wow, it might have been a long time on that voyage there, boys. Maybe you saw them from far off there, but okay. It's also National Medal of Honor Day. It's the anniversary of the first Medals of Honor being presented in 1863. Oh boy, if you're looking for a breakfast idea, International Waffle Day. Oh my gosh, this one is started in Sweden. Waffles or pancakes? Anybody have a preference? I love them both equally, I think, but let's be honest, maybe waffles just a little bit better. And also, oh man, I remember when my parents got when our oldest Jordan was, I think he was 2. They got him a little red wagon, and boy, that thing stayed with us for years and years. We would pull the kids around it at the state fair and all over. It's National Little Red Wagon Day, celebrating the iconic radio flyer. So yeah, that's our little red wagon that we had. Boy, that thing was a sturdy companion to so many things when the kids were little. Boy, great memories on that. And apparently a world record, the Philadelphia airport just set a world record for the longest line of cheesesteaks to apparently match the longest lines that we're seeing right now with TSA. So while you're waiting, why not have a cheesesteak there? All right, we got some Tolkien trivia coming up on this Tolkien reading day, as we were talking about apparently on Middle-earth lore. This was the day. This is the day that Frodo and Sam finished their journey, cast that ring into the Ring of Fire in Mount Doom there. All right, but before we get to that, meteorologist Tim Root, he's been waiting patiently on the sidelines here to let us know what kind of weather we should be expecting on this Wednesday. Timmy, how are we looking out there today?
Wednesday weather forecast has called for mostly sunny skies. The dry weather will continue. The high in the mid to upper 70s today. Southwest winds 6 to 12 miles per hour. Light variable winds tonight. Scattered clouds on the low 50s by morning. It'll be in the mid-70s on Thursday with plenty of spring sunshine to go around. A little bit warmer, 75 to 80 Friday. Mostly sunny skies in the forecast. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. 10 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:10 a.m. All right, we'll do some Tolkien trivia when we get back later on this hour. Daily dad jokes. You can send those in now, live at KAHI.com or call 530-885-3565. A little bit later on this hour, does antimatter matter? Well, it turns out it does. Also, reality TV has it seen its heyday? Is it on the downward trend, perhaps? Also, it is opening day of Major League Baseball. Giants hosting the Yankees today. Come on, let's go. Got some interesting opening day facts here, some MLB facts. A sport that's all about stats. Boy, we've got some stats around the MLB, plus a whole lot more. We've got news, weather, and traffic, all of that good stuff. Stay tuned. Back with more right after this.
KAHI Community Bulletin Board.
Do you know of a senior neighbor, friend, or family member going through a difficult time? Perhaps you know of a senior that could use a burst of joy, or a senior that needs help overcoming a conflict they are facing. Silver Wishes of Placer County may be able to help. Silver Wishes grants wishes to help seniors overcome a challenge, help break up the monotony of a chronic illness, bring joy to those suffering from loneliness, or fulfill a bucket list item for someone facing a terminal diagnosis. Wish recipients must be residents of Placer County and at least 65 years old. For more information and to nominate a senior for a wish, go to www.silverwishes.org. That's www.silverwishes.org. Silver Wishes, impacting our seniors one wish at a time.
Here's one of our local advertisers to tell you why he loves KAHI Radio.
I'm Fred Penny, managing partner of Penny & Associates, injury lawyers. Our law offices are located throughout California, and we have the opportunity to advertise across the state. We chose to advertise with KAHI. Among our other locations, we see the advantage of reaching those who matter most, the local customers, through local radio on KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
And 12 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:12 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Placerville. Currently 58 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 76 degrees. Not too shabby out there today. Enjoy it. Nice spring weather there. All right, well, we're talking about Tolkien Reading Day. And apparently today is the day that on Middle-earth lore that Frodo tossed the ring into a ring of fire there, Mount Doom, which got me thinking, like, that's interesting. What are some fun facts around Tolkien here, this author that I think maybe a lot of us have heard of, that we know of, but how in the world did, because I'm always fascinated. I have a friend of mine that it works for the county. It does a great job, geologist and guy who studies rocks. And I was like, all right, that's interesting. It turns out, fun fact about him, he's written these basically sci-fi novels, like 700 pages worth of a book. I'm like, my gosh, how do you, I so in awe of that somebody has an entire story inside of their head, and they not only do they have it inside of their head, they form the characters, they've formed the storyline, they've formed the scenery, it's all right there, and then Not only do they have it in their head, now they have the skill to now take it out of their head and put it in some sort of sensible format that then everybody else enjoys and reads. I've admired it ever since I was young for the folks that have the ability to do that. Well, I was wondering, like, what in the world was Tolkien's inspiration here, and how in the world did these massive amount of language and books and characters, and how are you keeping track of all of the storylines? Well, it turns out he's a writer. But here's some interesting things about Tolkien that might help us shed some light on a little bit of that mystery, at least the mystery that was in my brain.
Fell into a burning ring of fire.
That's poor Smeagol, poor that little guy. He went in there as well. Let's talk about that. The Cambridge connection here. Tolkien didn't just write a story. He was a world-class philologist. It's basically a fancy word for a language expert. He actually started by inventing the Elvish languages first, and then wrote the books because he needed a world where people actually spoke them. That is interesting. I did not know that. He once famously said the stories were made to provide a world for the languages, not the other way around. So I think a lot of people know that he did basically invent just entire languages there, the Elvish language, if you will. But I didn't know that he created, basically, I'm like, I gotta have a place to park all of these. Pretty interesting there. Spider phobia or lack thereof. Many people think the giant spider Shelob came from a childhood trauma. Now, this would be traumatic. While a baboon spider did bite Tolkien in South Africa when he was a toddler, he claimed he had no special fear of spiders. He just thought they made for a, quote, terrifyingly good, unquote, monster. This is some good research here, Producer Adam. Thanks for spinning these up for me. Ooh, see what we did there? Spin it up. All right. How about this one? It took him 12 years. That sounds about right. To write The Lord of the Rings. He did it mostly as a hobby while working his day job as a professor at Oxford there. He often wrote late at night by candlelight. Many people know about this, the writing group that he was a part of called the Inklings. Tolkien used to read his chapters aloud to a literary group called the Inklings. I've said this before. Man, oh boy, to be a fly on that pub wall there, to hear basically these guys sitting around and hearing the first drafts of these. Famously, the Inklings included his close friend C.S. Lewis, who authored The Chronicles of Narnia, amongst other books. Lewis loved it, but another member once groaned, "Oh God, not another elf." That's fantastic. Here's an interesting fact. Apparently, Tolkien wanted it to be all one book. He wanted it to just be one giant, encyclopedia level size book. But because of a paper shortage in the UK following World War II, the publisher decided to split the story into 3 volumes, The Fellowship, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King, purely to save money and reduce this is good. And to reduce risk if it didn't sell. Yeah, I can imagine him going through listen, my guy, respect. You got a lot here. This is a lot. Yeah, if people are going to hang through all of the setup and the exposition and apparently having to learn a new language going through here, it turns out it did hold up and it did sell. But Tolkien originally intended it to be one massive book. And the origin of the hobbits, the very first line of The Hobbit was scribed on the back of a blank exam paper he was grading. A student had left the page empty, and Tolkien, bored with his work, suddenly wrote, quote, "In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit," unquote. He didn't even know what a hobbit was yet. So there we go. Some interesting kind of little fun facts around Tolkien and how all of that came to be. And it was interesting. Producer Adam is like, hey, let's look up some ideas, some fun facts behind the movie there. And the movie's just epic in their own right as well. Peter Jackson didn't just build sets. He built an ecosystem for Hobbiton. They started planting the vegetable gardens and hedges a full year before filming began. They wanted the plants to look lived in and weathered, not like a fresh movie set. I've heard this one before, the chainmail factory. Every piece of chainmail worn on the film was handmade. 2 crew members spent nearly 2 years linking over 12.5 million small PVC rings by hand. By the end of the production, they had literally worn the fingerprints off of their thumbs. The scream of the Nazgul, this reminds me of how I remember when I took an audio production class at Sac State back in the day, and the professor was kind of blowing our minds a little bit. I think this is before the DVD extras were widely available. Okay, kids, what are DVD extras? So there used to be this thing called DVDs, and we'd watch our movies on them after these things called VHS. But the cool thing about DVDs is that you'd watch the movie, but then they would also pack on a bunch of extras, like here's some outtakes, here's some bloopers, here's the making of this movie. So you always bought the DVD thinking, oh man, I'm going to watch all the behind the scenes stuff. This is great. And one of the things that we learned in that audio production class was that, I think, what was it? The little speed racers going through in Star Wars there. They're going through, but basically I can't remember the name of the planet now, but it was, he filmed it in the Redwoods. Basically the sound of those little speed racers. One of the Foley guys basically took a microphone, placed it by the side of the freeway in LA with a vacuum hose over it, recorded the sounds of the cars passing by, and then shifted the pitch and the tone and all that, how they can do that to made that little speed racer sound so creative. I love the creation and the imagination that goes in creating this. Well, how about this in the Lord of the Rings, the scream, that piercing scream of the Nazgul, that when there's those little big nasty things flying over. Well, here's how they got that. Basically, the sound designer used the sound of his wife scraping a plastic mixing bowl and then digitally pitch shifted it to make that screaming sound. Again, how many things did they try before they got that? It's absolutely fascinating to me there. Let's see, Viggo Mortensen, he was legendarily a method actor there. He insisted on doing his own stunt. He carried a real steel sword instead of a lightweight aluminum one, and even chipped a tooth during a fight scene, and he reportedly asked the director just to super glue it back on so they could finish the shot. Now there's a guy committed to his craft there. And to make the hobbits look small, they used scale doubles. They hired world-class tall actors to stand next to the hobbits and used forced perspective there, positioning actors at different distances from the camera so they appeared to be different in heights, all in the same frame. Yeah, it was pretty cool. A fun fact here is we had some trivia last hour talking about, hey, can you name all 9 members of the Fellowship of the Ring there? One of them was Boromir here, and I actually have seen footage of this, of Peter Jackson talking about this. I think this was during COVID when they were all getting together on Zoom, and he was telling this story that when you get to the Council of Elrond there, and very famous scene where they're all saying, what do we do with this ring? How do we form this fellowship? Sean Bean, who played Boromir, is given his famous "one does not simply walk into Mordor" speech, which I think a lot of us who are familiar with the movies know. He's actually looking down at his script. He had just received his lines that morning, and he taped them to his knee because he hadn't had time to memorize them. So when you go back and watch that scene, every time Boromir is looking down, he's doing the equivalent of line. What's my line? So I did hear Peter Jackson share that story on a video there. It's actually pretty interesting. All right, 22 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:22 a.m. We're going to pause for just a second. We'll come back with our Fox Business Report. Daily dad jokes coming up here in a little bit. You can send those in now live at KAHI.com or call 530-885-3565. A little bit later, does antimatter matter? Well, it turns out it does. Reality TV, is it on the downward trend? We'll talk about that. Lots more coming up. Stay tuned. Back after this.
This is Stephen Hill. Catch Hearts of Space, Sunday nights at 8, here on the all-new FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. The same voice of the foothills, more powerful than ever.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks climbing at the open on Wall Street. The Dow Jones Industrial's up over 500 points, while the Nasdaq is trading more than 300 points higher. The S&P 500 is up over 70. Oil trading 5% lower this morning. It's under $88 a barrel. But AAA says the nationwide average for a gallon of gas is $3.98. Import prices jumping more than expected in February to its highest level since March of 2022. January was also revised higher. The American dream of home ownership is on hold for many. Mortgage rates hitting their highest level since October, and that has mortgage demand down more than 10%. And Cintas shares up 3% after the workplace products maker reported higher third quarter profit. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Frank Lanza, invested in you.
Tune in to the KAHI Corral every Saturday at 7 a.m. here on the Voice of the Foothills.
I did a petting zoo on the top floor of a skyscraper.
No. Wait.
They had the windows open because it's an old building. They don't have any air conditioning.
I'm still creeped out because I think animals fell out the windows, but they didn't.
Well, Reno did. He was
Wait, what?
on the windowsill with his head out the window.
Did he come when you
Walked
called
over
him?
very slowly, grabbed him, and pulled him back in and closed the windows.
Listen in to Connie and the Gang, and you'll never know what you're gonna find. Everything from pets in the studio, oh yeah, that's a real thing, to the advice you've come to count on. So join Connie and a cast of thousands on the KAHI Corral Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. here on 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com. And good Wednesday morning to you, March 25th. Hello to you, Lincoln. Currently 54 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 81 degrees. All right, let's talk about another event for the calendar. This one's coming up here pretty quick on March 28th. So in just a few days, listen, we're just going through some fun facts. We're just going through some trivia. You a fan of trivia? You a fan of fun facts? Want to be a part of a really great evening of dinner and entertainment? Well, then you want to go to, trust me, the annual Trivia Bee, and that is happening on March 28th at 5:30 p.m. That's going to be at the First Congregational Church here in Auburn. Now, this is all going towards a really great cause. All of the money raised is going to benefit local scholarships for young girls and women here in the area. Now, you can get your tickets online if that's your jam at auburn-ca.aauw.net, or in person is your jam. Absolutely. Roper's Jewelry here in Auburn. You can get the tickets there. You can just ask for the annual Trivia Bee tickets there. Or if the phone is your jam, well, then you got that option too. You can call Pam. 530-305-3053. Now, if you get them in advance, you save $5. $60 in advance, but hey, it's all going towards a great cause. So even if you're slapping down another $5, $65 at the door. Again, it's all benefiting local scholarships for young girls and women. Again, it's the annual Trivia Bee. It's a dinner and a night of lively entertainment brought to you by the AAUW Auburn branch here, featuring creatures big and small. I think that's what the trivia is going to be around. Now, if you want to be a part of the action, you want to have a team there that's doing this whole trivia thing, they might still have room for a team to join in that. It might be too late, but if you want to check on that, you can call Gayla at 408-206-9408. Again, that's 408-206-9408. But all that being said, go and check it out. Again, 5:30 p.m., March 28th, First Congregational Church here in Auburn. Tickets online, auburn-ca.aauw.net, or in person at Roper's Jewelry, or you can call Pam at 530-305-3053. $60 in advance, $65 at the door. All right, we'll be back with more right after this.
Every day, we fight to preserve magnificent places and wildlife. We are Earth Justice, a national legal nonprofit fighting for your right to a healthy environment. Every day, we fight to advance clean energy. We are Earth Justice, 135-plus lawyers representing clients free of charge. Every day, we fight to combat climate change. We're Earth Justice, and we're here because, now more than ever, the Earth needs a good lawyer. Earth Justice uses the power of law to ensure our planet and its inhabitants have a future. No one fights more cases on the environment than Earth Justice. And we win almost every time. Because when we win, the air and water are cleaner, food systems are safer, and public lands are preserved. And we win because these are fights we cannot lose. Want to join us in this fight? The time is now. Go to earthjustice.org today. That's earthjustice.org.
Saturday morning, the doorbell rings, and like many Americans, I answer it. I open the door, and there's this guy dressed in a banana suit holding a flute. Why me? I say to myself, why do these people always pick me? Then the guy hands me his card, A1 Banana Control. He says, you've got a banana problem, and I'm the answer. And I'm thinking, hey, pal, I'm the answer. You're the problem when a real live banana drops out of the light fixture and lands on its feet. 4 little feet and hightails it right out the door. They sense my presence, this guy says to me. Then he goes piping around the living room, scaring bananas literally out of every corner, opens up the piano, tra-la-la's it right up the stairs. The next thing I know, the banana man is being escorted down the stairs on the backs of hundreds of bananas. As they stampede by, he flips me the bill and yells back, remember, A1, we are bananas. Imagine that. You just did. You saw it on the radio. If you're an advertiser, this station and the Radio Advertising Bureau have news for you. Just call the station and say, I saw it on the radio.
30 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Lake of the Pines. Currently 56 degrees right now. Looking for a high today. Not too shabby out there of 76 degrees. All right, it's that time. It is time for your daily dad jokes. That's right. Make you laugh, sigh. I don't know. Roll your eyes. Go into the inbox here. Okay. Oh, Ray made a dad joke here in a correspondence. I was yesterday during the Meddlers meeting. Sometimes when I've got some time during the Meddlers meeting when it's playing to go through the inbox, clear some of the. You don't always have time to clear out some of the junk mail here at live at KAHI.com. But I said, you know what? I should check the other folders here. In case I'm missing anything, and I checked the spam folder, and apparently. There's a few emails from Ray and from some other folks that Outlook, I guess, just decided to send to spam. I don't know why. I don't know why some come through and some don't. I don't claim to understand Outlook at all. And so this was basically, Ray was sending me, this was back in September of last year, and he had sent a colonoscopy dad joke when I was talking about that. And I said, oh my gosh, I emailed him. Yesterday, I'm like, Ray, I'm so sorry. I didn't get this until just now. Apparently, Outlook decided to put it in the spam folder. And he says, well, his reply was, and Ray, props to you on this one, makes sense that Outlook would send a colonoscopy joke to the junk file. It's kind of toilet talk. Hey! There we go. Dad joke right in the response there. Thanks for that, Ray. Some other dad jokes. We'll do some Lord of the Rings themed dad jokes here. But before that, we got to this one from Stephanie. My husband, tripped and dropped a laundry basket full of freshly ironed clothes. Oh my gosh, that sounds horrible. She said, yeah, I watched it all unfold. Well done. My husband tripped and dropped a laundry basket full of freshly ironed clothes. She watched it all unfold. Doggone it there. How about this one? This is good for the kiddos or the grand kiddos here. Which bird is in need of a wig? Which bird is in need of a wig? Well, a bald eagle, of course. All right, I'm trying to determine this next word. All right, well, we'll try this one. Here we go. I was so bored that I read 6 pages of the dictionary. I learned next to nothing. What's that, Adam? Yeah, think about it. I was so bored I read 6 pages of the dictionary. I learned next to nothing. All right, there we go. Let's do a couple of Lord of the Rings things, just because it's Tolkien Day. How about this one? Why can't you enter Sauron's lair? Because there's always one more door. Okay, there we go. And why are most hobbits good guys? Well, because they don't look down on people. All right, there we go. And those are your daily dad jokes for this Wednesday, March 25th. Taking a quick break, we'll be back with your KAHI weather right after this.
Auburn's department store, McCullough's, has something for everyone. From the latest styles for men, women, and adorable kids' clothes and toys. They bring the best brands to the foothills. You can skip the big box store stress and the parking hassles. There's plenty of free parking at McCullough's with quality service and that classic neighborhood feel. Save time, gas, and money by shopping at McCullough's in the Auburn Town Center, right off of Elm.
Wednesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies. The dry weather will continue. The high in the mid to upper 70s today. Southwest winds 6 to 12 miles per hour. Light variable winds tonight. Scattered clouds on the low 50s by morning. It'll be in the mid 70s on Thursday with plenty of spring sunshine to go around. A little bit warmer, 75 to 80 Friday. Mostly sunny skies in the forecast. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Hi, this is Andrew Twidwell, owner of ABT Plumbing, Electric, Heat, and Air. ABT has been in business since 2001, and we are thrilled to have been voted Auburn's best plumbing company and best heating and cooling company in Auburn Journal's Best of Auburn promotion. We're very proud to have placed as runner-up in electrical category as well. Our technicians are experienced and friendly. If you have an issue with your plumbing, need a whole house generator, or maybe your furnace isn't working, give ABT a call. Reach us at 530-230-9004 for excellent service. It really is as easy as ABT.
You look nice. How was work?
Well, it was fourth period, civics. The kids were giving me the third degree. Was a UFO seen hovering over Washington, D.C.? Was a fisherman attacked by a 320-pound shrimp? They'd been bitten by the fake news bug, all right, and it was holding on like a driver's ed student to a steering wheel. How was I going to get a bunch of wide-eyed kids to wise up about what they see on the internet? Then it hit me. Like a dodgeball on field day. The name of the game was News Snoops. Each student got an article and 2 minutes to decide if it was credible or a fake. They were able to use fact-checking sites to get the cold, hard truth. Now the little hotshots are even teaching their gullible grannies a thing or two about phony news. But how was your day?
Pretty good. I got a new title today. Office Birthday Party Planner.
Oh, fun.
Teachers just have better work stories. If you want a creative, collaborative job worth talking about, head to teach.org. Brought to you by teach.org.
36 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:36 a.m. And hey, good morning to you. Forest Hill, currently 58 degrees right now. Looking for a high today of 73 degrees. All right, we're going to get to Does Antimatter Matter? There's actually some pretty interesting news out of the science world here in just a little bit. It kind of blew my mind a little bit, and I don't know. We'll see what you think about it here. But speaking about mattering, boy, I'll tell you what. We've got opening day, Giants versus the Yankees. Giants hosting them at home at Oracle Park around 5 o'clock this afternoon. You can check out the opening day broadcast here on KAHI. Make sure you tune in this afternoon to hear the Giants' first game. Really, they're opening up the whole shebang. Then tomorrow it's going to kick off with the opening day games there with a bunch of games. But Giants and the Yankees, very, very cool. Got me thinking. I asked producer Adam. I'm like, hey, give me some MLB stats here, just to get us in the mood here in the celebration of baseball coming back. It's spring. It's going to be mid 70s out there. It's going to be great today. Had some interesting fun facts here. In over 120 years of professional baseball, there has only been one no-hitter thrown on opening day. It happened on April 16th, 1940, when 21-year-old Bob Feller of the Cleveland Indians shut down the Chicago White Sox. It was 35 degrees that day. Are you kidding me? Everybody was frozen. They couldn't swing the bat. He said he he was so cold he couldn't even feel his fingers for the first 3 innings. Yowza. How about this one? A stat that blows a lot of people's mind every time. More people have walked on the moon, that would be 12 people, than have scored an earned run off of Mariano Rivera in the postseason. That was 11. Rivera played 96 postseason games across 16 years, and the list of people who actually, quote, got to him, unquote, is shorter than the roster of Apollo astronauts. Oh, that's kind of interesting. How about this one? Hall of Famer Stan Musial has one of the most perfectly balanced careers in history. Now, this is a game, even all the way back in the day, it's all about stats here. If you're a fan of stats, I remember... Golly, when I was going to JC, I think, what was I at Sierra College? and I went to my counselor, planning out my schedule for the next semester and making sure I'm staying on track to do everything. Then I can transfer over. And it's like, oh yeah, no, there's a math class here. This will be easy. Don't worry about this one. This math class will be good for you. What I didn't bother to notice is was all about stats and story problems. Was I was like, oh my gosh, that is just not my jam. That is not my jam, but I'm glad it is other people's jams because it makes for interesting stats to look at over the years. Let's see. He had the perfectly balanced career. He retired with exactly 3,630 hits, and basically that was 1,815 hits at home and exactly 1,815 hits on the road, split evenly right down the middle. The odds of that happening over a 22-year career are absolutely astronomical. That does seem pretty interesting. One of our local hometown heroes here, Barry Bonds. In 2004, Barry Bonds was so feared that he was intentionally walked 120 times in a single season. I do remember that. I remember every time that they would walk him. You're like, all right, he's coming up. We've got people on base. No, they're going to walk him. All right, never mind. To put that in perspective, he has more intentional walks in his career, 688, than the entire Tampa Bay franchise has in their history, approximately 685. So they're creeping up on him. Teams literally decided that letting him walk was safer than letting him touch the ball. I do remember that because then he'd basically hit it out in the bay there if he got a hold of one. This one, I don't know if we'll see something like this again. This guy, Joel Youngblood, did something in August of 1982 that will probably never likely happen again. He started the day, check this out, this is absolutely incredible. He started the day playing for the New York Mets in Chicago, got a hit. During the actual game, he was traded to the Montreal Expos, who were playing that same night in Philadelphia. He hopped on a plane, made it to the game, and got a hit for the Expos. He is the only player in history to get a hit for two different teams in two different cities on the same day. So, I don't know. That's an impressive stat. Hold that one. Somebody should give him a trophy just for that. That is pretty cool. So there we go. So there's some baseball stats, some opening day stats there. Bob Feller throwing a no-hitter in 35 degrees. My gosh, to get us in the mood for opening day. Again, Giants hosting the Yankees at home today to officially kick off the 2026 MLB season. You can hear it again here on KAHI tonight around 5 o'clock. Make sure to tune in. I know that I will be for sure. All right, 41 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:41 a.m. Quick break. When we come back, antimatter. Does it matter? Turns out it does. Some interesting news from the science world. We'll be back with more right after this.
Right arm, right leg.
Left leg, left arm.
Both legs above the knee.
Both legs, part of my left hand.
Lost both my legs in Iraq.
These 9/11 veterans are just a few of the heroes we serve at Homes for Our Troops. For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes with features like wheelchair access, roll-in showers, and pull-down cabinets that allow them to function independently and focus on their recovery and family. This life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans, thanks to our donors and supporters. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
And good Wednesday morning to you, March 25th today. Also, hey, good morning to you, Colfax. Currently 58 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 74 degrees. All right, before we get to our KAHI news here in just a little bit, boy, the world of science and space and technology, I don't know, it fascinates me. I don't know about you, but this is pretty interesting. I came across this today. This was prepping for the show in the morning brew this morning. It's the 30-minute drive that has scientists celebrating. What the heck were they doing? Well, they're talking a little bit about antimatter. Now, as a huge fan, maybe this is why. It started when I was a kid watching Star Trek The Next Generation. And Geordi LaForge down there in engineering and talking about the core capacitor antimatter. You've got your antimatter core and all this and the warp drive. Oh my gosh, I loved it. I was there for it. Remember, my dad had a coworker at the time who was really into the Next Generation, had all of the episodes on VHS tape. Yes, kids, back in the day, we used to record shows on a tape, put in a little player there, Be Kind and Rewind. And he also had a book that basically broke down and had all of these diagrams of the Enterprise and of how that, I can't even remember the name of it, like the core capacitor or whatever, how all of that worked together. It was absolutely fascinating. I was there for it. I remember sitting on the couch just looking at that book for hours. Well, in IRL, as the kids say, in real life, scientists best known for smashing particles together achieved success yesterday by doing the exact opposite. Researchers at the European Organization for Nuclear Research, or CERN, successfully transported antimatter on a truck with a specially designed tank that kept the antimatter from touching matter, which would have caused it both of them to be annihilated. What? This is bending my brain here for a little bit. The Geneva-based CERN houses the Large Hadron Collider, which slams particles together to create antimatter for study. Now, antimatter measurements, however, require delicate precision that's better done at the Heinrich Heine University, or HHU, in Dusseldorf. So yesterday's 30-minute spin around CERN's campus is a first step towards getting the antimatter to Germany in what would be an 8-hour drive. So basically, listen, we formed the antimatter at the antimatter factory there, but we got to get it. If we're going to measure, and I'm not quite sure what all they need to measure here. It's I don't think it's apparent here. Maybe they'll talk about it. But yeah, they got to transport it 8 hours, and I don't think you can just put that in a DHL van and have it go over there. So the question is wait a minute, if they would have touched, if the antimatter and the matter would have come together and annihilated each other, what are the inherent risks here to everybody around? Did they risk blowing up Geneva? Well, despite what you might think, no. The 92 antiprotons on the truck were so small that no damage would have been caused if they collided with matter. So what are we learning here? Well, the Big Bang Theory posits that the explosion that brought the universe into being created equal parts matter and antimatter. Studying antimatter could provide an explanation as to why the universe is dominated by matter rather than the antimatter. HHU, the university that does the measurements there, they won't be ready to accept the antimatter delivery until 2029 at the earliest. So it's good that they're doing these tests now. But, when you consider how old the universe is, 3 years doesn't seem to be all of that long there. So, yeah, see if we can get some antimatter transferred over. The age-old question, if you're trying to transport antimatter 8 hours away, how the heck do you do it? Well, I guess they're working on doing that now. All right, it is now 13 minutes to the top of the hour, 7:47 a.m. Taking a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your KAHI News right after this.
Because KAHI cares, here's another KAHI Community Bulletin Board.
If food rules your life, call Overeaters Anonymous. Get help and support from a group that understands. Weekly meetings are on Wednesday at 10 a.m. at Unity of Auburn, 1212 High Street. There are no weigh-ins, dues, or fees, but donations are accepted. For more information, call Sherry at 530-921-8028 or go to oa.org. OA includes all eating disorders.
And here's your KAHI News for Wednesday, March 25th. I'm Chris Quant. Lockdown lifted at Placer County High School after campus shooting threat. This is from the Sacramento Bee. Granite Bay High School and nearby schools were placed on a precautionary lockdown Tuesday after campus staff received a threat of a shooting at the school. Sheriff's deputies searched the entire campus and found no threat. The Placer County Sheriff's Office announced at 2:10 p.m. on Tuesday. Granite Bay High staff received the threat of a shooting at the school at 12:15 p.m. on Tuesday at the campus on Grizzly Way in Granite Bay, sheriff's officials announced in social media posts. The high school was immediately placed on lockdown. A sheriff's school resource officer was on the campus at the time and, quote, began working to ensure everyone on campus was safe and that there was not an active shooter, unquote, sheriff's officials said. Explosion reported before garage fire spreads to Orangevale home. This is from Fox 40 News. Fire crews responded to a residential structure fire Tuesday afternoon in Orangevale that began in a garage and spread to a neighboring home. According to the Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District, firefighters were dispatched at about 4:47 p.m. to the 8600 block of Quail Oak Way. When crews arrived, they found a single-family home heavily involved in flames originating from the garage. Metro Fire said firefighters launched an aggressive fire attack while conducting a primary search to ensure no one remained inside the residence. The fire extended to a nearby home, prompting additional efforts to contain the spread. According to fire officials, the homeowners were inside when the fire started and reported hearing what sounded like an explosion coming from the garage. When they went to investigate, they found the area already engulfed in flames. Both occupants evacuated safely and called 911. At this time, no injuries have been reported. Fire officials said a working smoke alarm activated during the incident, providing an early warning that helped the occupants escape. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Authorities reminded residents to evacuate immediately in the event of a fire and to call 911 from a safe location, noting that early detection and quick action can be life-saving. Back with more news after this.
Do you feel like you have days that just suck? Well, let's find ways to deal with it on Pop Talk. How about reaching for youth and energy? Detoxing, that might be the way. And women fought for leadership. Up that ladder, but has burnout been the cost? How to deal. And when cancer strikes, how do you deal with the fear and make it through? Let's make the journey of your life with Pop Talk in Search of Truth, Saturday 5 to 7 a.m., Sunday 9 to 11 p.m., and 24/7 at KAHI.com.
Are you ready to explore the unexplained, dive into the bizarre, and journey to the other side of midnight? I'm Frank Morano, your host for the most compelling late-night talk show in America. From conspiracy theories to cosmic mysteries, from politics to pop culture, we cover it all, and then some. Join me weeknights from 2 to 6 a.m. right here on the Voice of the Foothills, FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. Don't just stay up late. Stay curious.
Hello, Placer County. The weather is here. The ground is soaking it up, so we need to add some fertilizer and get some seed down. The babies and the mamas need feed and bedding, and that means you need to come on by to Placer Farm Supply. They've got what you need. And by the way, if you didn't get that jacket or coat you wanted for Christmas, stop on by and pick it up. In other words, if you need it, they've got it. And if they don't have it, just ask, and they will do their best to get it for you. Customer service is their #1 goal. We're local, and you are our neighbor. Placer Farm Supply, the best kept secret. Stop on by and say hi.
Be sure to listen to The Garden Goddesses, Saturday mornings at 8, right here on the Voice of the Foothills.
And this is Cindy from The Garden Goddesses. Thanks for being a loyal listener, and please join us every Saturday morning from 8 to 9 on KAHI, the Voice of the Foothills, and we will teach you all we know about gardening.
I've learned so much myself, and I've only been here a few months. You can learn so much on their show. It is the ultimate gardening show.
Absolutely. So join us every Saturday morning from 8 to 9.
Right here on the Voice of the Foothills.
Continuing now with your KAHI News from the Morning Brew, Pentagon deploying 3,000 troops to the Middle East. According to the Wall Street Journal, the Defense Department plans to deploy 3,000 soldiers from the U.S. Army's 82nd Airborne Division to support the operation against Iran. A decision to put boots on the ground in Iran hasn't been made, the Wall Street Journal reported, but deploying the 82nd to the region reportedly gives President Trump several strategic options. Meanwhile, Pakistan offered to mediate talks between the U.S. and Iran, though the New York Times reported that Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is pushing Trump to continue the war. Senate nears deal to fund the DHS and TSA delays. The Senate and the White House are close to a deal to fund the Department of Homeland Security that could improve the airport delays due to TSA staffing shortages, CNBC reported, citing a Trump administration official. The deal would fund all of the DHS except the Immigration and Customs Enforcement budget, which Democrats have refused to bankroll until reforms are made in the wake of the killings of 2 U.S. citizens by immigration enforcement officers in Minneapolis. If the deal is approved, Republicans would then seek to fund ICE through a separate process that would not need Democratic support. The DHS has been shut down since February, leading to hours-long security lines at several major airports across the U.S. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. Meta violated New Mexico state law and must pay $375 million in damages for failing to protect users from child predators, a jury found yesterday. Apple confirmed that its Maps app will begin showing ads this summer. Senator Elizabeth Warren sent a 12-page letter to Mr. Beast requesting details about his plans to expand into financial services. Nintendo reportedly cut production of its Switch 2 due to weakening demand for the gaming console. NASA canceled plans to put a space station in lunar orbit and will instead build a $20 billion base on the moon, the agency's chief Jared Isaacman said. And OpenAI is shutting down Sora, its TikTok-style AI video app, just months after it launched, as the company refocuses around business and coding. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is heyday, meaning the period of a person or thing's greatest success or popularity. Heyday. And that's your KAHI News for this Wednesday, March 25th. I'm Chris Quant. Back with more after this.
Catch Sinatra and Friends, Saturdays and Sundays, right here on 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI. Join Frank and his friends, Sammy, Dean, Tony Bennett, and more, performing songs from the Great American Songbook. Sinatra and Friends Weekends, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings on Folsom Boulevard in Rancho Cordova. Right here on the Voice of the Foothills, 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
If you like quality, let's talk Amish.
The Amish furniture craftsman starts with the finest hardwood, shaping and molding the raw materials into a one-of-a-kind work of art.
Amish furniture will last a lifetime, right, Nova? Yes.
Naturewood Home Furnishings offers the largest selection of surprisingly affordable Amish furniture.
With Amish, your choices are endless.
All Amish furniture is on sale. Naturewood, the building with the water wheel.
Tell them Brooklyn, Nova, and Orion sent you.
Hi, this is Dr. Dahlia, and I'm thrilled to announce that I've joined the KAHI radio team. Each weekday morning from 9 to noon, I'm live on KAHI. We tackle issues like cholesterol, diabetes, women's health, children, geriatrics, relationships, and more. And with all that's going on in Washington, we even touch on government and policies impacting your health. The Dr. Dahlia Show is also a live call-in medical talk show that answers your questions on the air. Join me, Dr. Dahlia, Monday through Friday from 9 to noon here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
4 minutes to the top of the hour, 7:56 a.m. Let's talk about another event for the calendar here. What are we talking about? We're talking about a sidewalk sale. Now, this is happening over several days. The next one, it's going to be April 11th and 12th. And you might be saying, Chris, I love me a good sidewalk sale. Where are these sidewalks that are having these sales? Well, I'll tell you. It's going to be in Old Town and downtown Auburn. Here, it's going to be happening again, the next one on April 11th and April 12th. Join them for a sidewalk sale weekend in Old Town and downtown where local businesses will be placing sale merchandise outside of their storefronts for a town-wide shopping experience. It's a simple invitation. Go park the car. If you're from Boston, take a stroll and explore what the local shops have to offer. Throughout the weekend, participating businesses will showcase special deals, seasonal items, and limited time finds right on the sidewalks there. Now, whether you're looking for something specific or just enjoying a relaxed day out, you'll have a chance to discover new products and reconnect with familiar favorites. It's also an opportunity to support small businesses, which is super important here in our communities, that contribute to the character and vitality of our community. Every purchase helps keep the historic districts active, welcoming, and locally rooted. Bring a friend, make an afternoon of it, and they'll see you out there on the sidewalks. Again, sidewalk sale happening in Old Town and downtown Auburn coming up on April 11th and April 12th. So in just a few weeks here, get out there, check out all the items, merchandise, everything that's going to be out on the sidewalks there in Old Town and downtown. Find yourself some good deals. Also, support the community locally. Your dollars here. I think what Sean Rebay said, was it our dollar? If you spend $1 locally, it's the amount that it's the expenditure that it's multiplied inside of our community, it's amazing. It's incredible. So here is your chance to absolutely do that. Again, it's going to be on April 11th and April 12th. Again, an opportunity to support small businesses, contribute, and just enjoy a weekend and an afternoon out of it. Grab a friend, take them down, and do a little bit of shopping. All right, it is 1 minute to the top of the hour. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll have hour 3 right after this.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you to listen to Chris in the morning, Monday through Fridays, starting at 6 a.m. My goodness, that's still early. Get all the local news, weather, traffic, and local events you can handle, plus a healthy dose of daily dad jokes. Chris in the morning, 6 to 9 a.m. here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills. I never miss it, and neither should you. Now, where did I put that breakfast burrito?
20 seconds to the top of the hour. My gosh, that is 2 hours down just like that. Coming up on hour 3 here. Of course, we'll be shouting out if it's your birthday. Also, reality TV is on its way down. We'll see. Pausing. Back after this.
FM 104.5, K283CM, Auburn, and AM 950, KAHI, Auburn.
Wake up, it's Chris in the morning light. On KAHI, your day starts right. Foothill news and a smile.
Going aggressive today. Okay.
With a dad joke,
here we go.
and the
Hit
weather
it!
too. He's the voice of the hills, keeping it real. Local talk with hometown feel. So grab your coffee, don't hit snooze. It's Chris in the morning with your daily news.
Oh, yeah, and here we go. Good Wednesday morning to you. It is March 25th, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 8 a.m. now. Phones are ringing. Good morning, KAHI Radio. Who's this?
Hey, this is Ed.
Hey, Ed, how's it going?
Cool. Good, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for calling in. What's going on?
Well, on the 12th, you just announced they're going to have that big sale over in Old Town.
Yeah.
On the morning of the 12th, the big boy steam engine is going to go across the bridge there.
Oh, Ed, thanks for the heads up. Oh, my gosh.
It's supposed to be in Colfax around noon, so I'm guessing about 10:30 or 11 o'clock it's going to go across the bridge in Auburn.
Oh, my
And there'll
gosh.
probably be thousands of railroad fans chasing it.
Including us.
Well,
including us.
Now, are you guys going to do it? Are you going to go up? Because, yeah, I hear it's supposed to stop in Colfax. For folks that don't know, can you tell us a little bit? Do you know much about that engine there? Because it's a steam engine, right?
Yeah, it's the largest operating steam engine, I think, in the world right now.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it is quite impressive. Now, is this, Ed, do you know, is this the same one that came through, what was it, last year, two years ago? It is the same one?
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
Yes.
my gosh. Well, that is a great head. So it's coming on the 12th. It's going to be passing. Boy, that's going to be quite the sight.
It'll be in Roseville on the 9th through the 12th.
Okay. All right. Well, for you railroad, what is it? What are the, what is it? There's a name for folks that go out. Train spotters? Is that what I'm trying to think of there for folks that?
Oh, they got all kinds of names for us.
Oh, Ed, is that you? Do you like checking out trains and different engines that go by?
I do. I'm a model railroader.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, maybe you can help me out with this because I have living down and near the main I grew up near the railroad, the Roseville train yard there. Remember hearing them go through the night. And somehow I found myself living by the tracks most of my life here. I've noticed there's been folks out there by the railroad tracks that are out there taking pictures, and I'm like, well, Ed, one engine looks the same as all the other engines. Do you know what they're trying to spot? What's the difference of these engines are? Or is it the cars? What are they looking for? Do you know?
Oh, they look for a little bit of everything. You know, some people like to even look for the numbers on the engine.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And I have a friend that, he's got a street address, and he's looking for the Union Pacific engine that has the same number as his
Oh,
street
no
address.
kidding.
Yeah. I mean, when you get into this stuff, it gets kind of crazy, but I have 3 friends coming down from Idaho just to see the train go over Donner Pass.
No kidding. No kidding.
Yeah, and the last time they were there, we were standing by the bridge on the other side of the freeway, up a little bit.
Yeah.
And there was a guy there from New Hampshire, I think, that flew in just to see this.
Wow.
So
Oh, my gosh.
People have come from all over the place.
Yeah. Well, that is really interesting. I didn't realize how significant the numbers might be. That reminds me, back in the day, back in high school, you go to Carl's Jr. and they'd give you those little A-frame numbers that you would put on your table there. And
Right.
they bring you your order. And it was always, if you got one that was the last 2 digits of your birth year, we always tried to swipe them. I'll admit that now that I'm in my 40s. But it was kind of a badge of honor if you could get one that had your birth year, or at least the last 2 digits of your birth year. On it.
Yeah.
But that makes a whole lot of sense. Well, Ed, thanks for the heads up on that. So that's on the 12th then, that the big boys coming
Correct.
through. Okay. So, and if
Yep.
folks want to check it out, you can see it. But you said it's stopping in Colfax.
It is. It's going to be there about 20 minutes, I think.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think last time it was supposed to stop, but apparently something stopped it on the tracks between Auburn and Colfax, didn't it? Do you remember that of what happened there? And for some reason, it couldn't.
Yeah,
make
it
the
hit
stop.
a tree right coming out of the tunnel there in Auburn.
It's a little too big.
And it broke a pipe on the side of the engine.
No kidding. Oh my gosh. Well, I think we probably know
they had
better
to
now.
weld it back together before they could keep going.
Holy smokes. Well, the reason I remember that, Ed, is because my parents were in town visiting, and I had hyped this whole thing up to them. And then we were there. We were standing around, and they're like, so where's this train? Where's this amazing thing you were talking about? It's like,
we were in that group too.
Oh, were you really? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Usually trains are a couple hours late, and
that's true.
you go chase one of these things, and that's what happens.
Yeah. They sometimes they run on their own schedule there. Hey, have you guys taken Amtrak? We had a chance to do this with some family and go when the snow train and basically go up there and head up to Truckee. Have you guys ever had a chance to do that? It's gorgeous, especially when it's snow on the ground.
Yeah, we did our anniversary. We went in November, and we went over the hill to Truckee.
Yeah.
And stayed in the old Truckee Hotel one night, and then took the train back.
Oh my gosh, what a great because you can't do it on the same day. I think you have to wait till the next day to get it back.
If you go to the hotel in Truckee and get a room, they have the bathtubs are on feet.
Yeah.
And the toilet has the flusher way up on top of the wall, and you have to pull a chain. And
oh my gosh,
it's old, but it's really nice.
And it's clean.
That is well. Listen, you guys, you might have given me an anniversary idea for for my wife and I too.
Yeah, we did that, and then we spent the day walking around Truckee, and there's a lot of nice stores and stuff, and
well,
it's
that
really
is
cool.
Awesome. What is it? It's the old Truckee Hotel. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay, Ed, you're giving me ideas here. All right, I'm making I'm making a note of that. Well, hey, thanks for calling in, Ed. I appreciate it, and the heads up that along with the sidewalk sale, we can be chasing down that big boy steam engine. I remember it watching go by last time. It is definitely something to remember. So I appreciate it. You guys have a great rest of your day.
Okay, well, let everybody know.
I will. I'll be sure to keep that on the calendar here. Thanks for calling in. We'll talk to you next time.
Okay, take it easy.
Thanks, Ed. All right. Bye-bye. All right. Well, that is fantastic. Ed, thanks so much for that heads up there. I love that. I love that, keeping it local here, keeping the community informed. And yeah, if you've not had a chance to see this big boy steam engine, it is just massive, and it is impressive when it goes by. So do yourself a favor on April 12th there to get out, maybe do a little bit of sidewalk sailing, and then you can see it coming through here in Auburn. And yeah, if you want to see it stop, you head on up to Colfax up there. Apparently it's going to be stopping for, I think Ed said, about 20 minutes there. So yeah, do yourself a favor, even if you're not a train person. And I don't necessarily consider myself a train person. It's fun to watch them go through, and I think it's such a part of our lives here, especially if you've grown up in the area, that the train's coming through, it's passing through, it's going to blow its horn as it's going through town. I think we kind of get used to it. But then to be reminded of what impressive pieces of equipment these things are, especially these steam engines. It's fantastic. Do yourself a favor, get out and see it. Again, it's going to be on April April 12th. Put it on the calendar here, and yeah, it's very impressive. But speaking of the calendar, hey, if today is your birthday, you know we love to do this nearish the top of the hour. If today is your birthday, well, then may I say a happy stinking birthday to you. Hope you have a fantastic day today. If you were born today, you share a birthday with Ed Begley, American actor born on this day in 1901. Howard Cosell, American broadcaster, journalist, and author, 1918. Let's see, we've got Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul, born on this day in 1942. Speaking of musicians, Sir Elton John, English singer-songwriter there. 1947, Danica Patrick, American race car driver. 1982, and Catherine McPhee, American singer-songwriter and actress. 1984. So happy birthday to them, and happy birthday to you if today is your birthday. Again, I hope you have a fantastic day. Speaking of birthdays, also Venice. Yes, the town or city of Venice celebrating a birthday today. Apparently, as legend has it, founded at noon, I would assume local time there, Venice's birthday today. I think it's 1,600 years old, and looking pretty good there still. Also, other events that happened on this day in history, if I can get it queued up here. The first wiki, hard to believe, it's 31 years ago. In 1995, the world's very first wiki site, WikiWeb, was launched. Sounds like a Will Smith song there. First tornado forecast happened on this date in 1948. The successful tornado forecast was issued at Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma. Before that, tornado was a forbidden word in weather forecasts because officials didn't want to cause panic. And in 1655, going all the way back, Dutch astronomer Christian Huygens discovered Saturn's largest moon. And he basically did it with a telescope he built himself, a little DIY, that only had a 50x magnification there. So if you didn't know, now you know. It's also National Medal of Honor Day, basically the first Medal of Honors being presented in 1863, and International Waffle Day. So if you're looking for a breakfast idea, haven't had breakfast yet, maybe make it a waffle today if you want. All right, 10 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:10 a.m. He's been waiting patiently in the wings here. Meteorologist Tim Root with our Wednesday weather forecast. Timmy, how are we looking out there today?
Wednesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies. The dry weather will continue. The high in the mid to upper 70s today. Southwest winds 6 to 12 miles per hour. Light variable winds tonight. Scattered clouds on the low 50s by morning. It'll be in the mid 70s on Thursday with plenty of spring sunshine to go around. A little bit warmer, 75 to 80 Friday. Mostly sunny skies in the forecast. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 11 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:11 a.m. When we come back, we'll have our Fox Business Report, as we do. And also before that, has reality TV passed its heyday? That's our word of the day today, by the way. We'll talk about that. Maybe folks aren't so down for the reality unscripted shows. But are they really unscripted? I mean, they're just really a bunch of actors just trying to get exposure. I don't know. We'll talk about that. Stay tuned. Back with more right after this.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you that Chris in the Morning really is the best way to start your day. And he's not paying me to say this at all. Wink. And yes, he really is holding it down in beautiful Studio A in the KAHI Worldwide Headquarters Studios, Monday through Fridays, 6 to 9 a.m. Chris in the Morning here on FM 104.5, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com. Now where is that $3 gift card he said he'd leave me for saying nice things about him? Man, that guy's a cheapskate.
Here's Jimmy J, DJ of the Stars. BB Bumble and the Stingers, Monta Hoople, Ray Charles Singers, Lonnie Mac and Twang and Eddie. Here's my ring, we're going star. Ooh, I didn't realize the mic was on. Hi, this is Jimmy J. How you doing? Join me every Saturday at 8 p.m. right here on KAHI. I have the stars you grew up with, some great music, and I promise I won't sing. So join me this Saturday, 8 p.m. for Rewind, right here on the Voice of the Foothills, AM 950, KAHI.
And 13 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:13 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Meadow Vista. Currently 59 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 75 degrees. All right, came across this doing some prep for the show this morning in the Morning Brew. I don't know, it's kind of interesting. My wife, just when she's around the house, she's doing stuff, doing her chores or whatever. She always has something playing on in the background, just that stuff. Not most of the time. A lot of the time, I hear the dialogue happening. I'm like, what in the world are you watching right now? Love is Blind or Married at First Sight or blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what in the world? What kind of? And then 10 minutes later, I'm like, wait a minute. She's not going to marry him, is she? So, yeah, no, I kind of get sucked into it as well. But are we past the heyday of reality TV, the reality of a TV downturn? Data from Luminate, cited by the New York Times, states that the number of unscripted U.S. series premieres plunged 15% last year, and by a third since 2022. No genre is genre. Cooking, crime, home design, travel shows, and more are each dwindling. Compared with scripted TV shows, reality TV was supposed to be a relatively insulated from the end of peak TV because it's cheaper to make, but the harsh economics of television have now come for it as well. Media consolidation and relentless ratings declines have made network execs rethink how many shows about families hating each other they are going to greenlight. So, I don't know. How do we all feel about reality TV? Finding out that some friends of mine that have been basically watching Survivor since the beginning, 20 some odd years, still watching that show. I guess it has its fan, it has its loyal folks. I don't know. I'm more for the scripted television myself. I think some reality TV is cool. I'm not saying that I don't watch any reality TV shows, but I'm more of a fan. Am I going to be completely broke up about this? Probably not. All right, 15 minutes have passed the top of the hour, 8:15 a.m. Time for us to turn it over now, as we do, speaking of numbers, to the Fox Business Report.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks climbing at the open on Wall Street. The Dow Jones Industrial's up over 500 points, while the Nasdaq is trading more than 300 points higher. The S&P 500 is up over 70. Oil trading 5% lower this morning. It's under $88 a barrel. But AAA says the nationwide average for a gallon of gas is $3.98. Import prices jumping more than expected in February to its highest level since March of 2022. January was also revised higher. The American dream of home ownership is on hold for many. Mortgage rates hitting their highest level since October, and that has mortgage demand down more than 10%. And Cintas shares up 3% after the workplace products maker reported higher third quarter profit. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Frank Lanza. Invested in you.
I'm Frederick Penny, host of Radio Law Talk, the most exciting, entertaining, and sometimes informative radio show on earth. Listen to us live on KAHI, the voice of the foothills, every Saturday morning, 9 to noon, here on FM 104.5 and AM 950. You can also find us on KAHI.com and the KAHI app. Remember, that's Radio Law Talk, live 9 to noon every Saturday. Right here on KAHI, AM and FM, the voice of the foothills.
16 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:16 a.m. Let's take a look outside at our roadways right now. If you got to go outside, well, if you're heading down to, if you're on 65, my gosh, looks like we've got an accident. The left lane is blocked at 65 northbound at Blue Oaks Boulevard there. And we've got an accident apparently on the southbound lane as well, nearest the same area. So just a heads up, if you're traveling on 65 right now, coming in from Lincoln or going up towards Lincoln, looks like we've got slowdowns on both sides of the road right now. Once you make it to 80, you're heading down to Sacramento. Not too shabby. They're slowing a little bit around Madison Avenue, and then you're going to be slowing the Cap City Freeway going all the way in. Per usual, it's a Wednesday, it's traffic. Going westbound over to I-5 on 80, not too bad, looking pretty clear there. I-5 northbound towards the airport, looking pretty good though. Though if you're going to the airport, give yourself some extra time with all of the delays there that have been happening with travel and TSA and all that good stuff. If you're heading up to Truckee, looks pretty clear up the mountain there. If you're on 50 heading down from Placerville, looks like we're going to slow down around Watt Avenue there. So slowing down if you're getting into Sacramento. But if you're going up 50 towards South Lake, no major slowdowns at this time. Also looking at the canyon, 49 across the canyon, no major restrictions at the moment. All right, we will be back right after this.
At Sunrise Natural Foods, those 55 and better save 15% every Wednesday, and everyone can save on hundreds of products throughout the store every day. This month, all Life Extension products are 25% off, and all MRM vitamins and proteins are 35% off. And if you have any questions, just ask one of their product specialists, who are always happy to help you on your health journey in Auburn and Roseville or online at sunrisenaturalfoods.net. Remember, when it comes to health, experience matters.
And good Wednesday morning to you, March 25th. Coming up at our next segment at the bottom of the hour, Sports Ball. Kings played last night. They played at Charlotte there. How'd they do? Did they get the W? If you heard on KAHI, you know what the answer to that is. Also, I'll let you know when I'll let you know when the Kings are playing again. And also tonight, opening night for baseball. I am here for it. You can hear the Giants here hosting the New York Yankees at home. Let's go. I'll let you know what time that all is kicking off tonight. Back with more after this.
Where's the fun in that? First Thing Today by Joe Thomas on the Talk Media Network.
Searching for a friend to share my time. Looking for a mountain I can climb. I ain't afraid of death or no doom. Do the best that I can do. With the spirit of the wild, running free. I got the spirit of the wild inside of me.
Thank you for letting us be of service to you on this Tedsday. And I wanted to go back to a clip we had. And we got Clark is hanging on the line with us there. But this clip from earlier on in the program this morning.
And so what's happening today in America that should outrage everybody? He's taking the very same agency that has been bursting into our schools, into our churches, into our hospitals, into our courts, and even into the homes of Americans. He's taking that agency that is reckless and out of control and bringing them to our airports.
That's Cory Booker making the case that now the ICE agents who are helping out at TSA are there. They must be looking for people. Oh, be careful. Don't show your ID to the ICE agents. You might wind up in detention centers, being hustled off to some deportation facility if you're not supposed to be here in the first place. That's what Cory Booker puts out and forgets to in their great response. We'll get to it from Tom Homan, who's coming to Dallas with me. Should be careful how I say that. He's not in the car with me driving there, although that would be a really fun drive. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't. He seems like that kind of guy who just sits in the car and reads and doesn't talk to anyone else in the car, just stares out the window and watches the world go by. Anyway, we were talking about civil rights and how it's interesting that the same folks, and it's how Hakeem Jeffries can sound like Governor George Wallace when he talks about it being a states' rights issue, whether or not they dilute your vote by a half or a quarter or two-thirds or however many times they dilute your vote without somebody being there. It's kind of adjunct also to this case out of Riverside County, California, Clark. So we left off with you pointing out that it's not just the non-citizens voting, it's the deceased citizens and names just made up out of whole cloth. And I brought up Georgie, good old Fulton County, Georgia. Nothing corrupt ever happened there. Did it, Clark?
Right. Yeah, a lot happened there. So, look, Joe, here's the thing. You're an American citizen. You have the right to vote. I'm an American citizen. I have the right to vote. I bet the vast majority of people listening are American citizens and are supposed to have the right to vote. Every one of these bogus ballots that they generate negates the vote, a legitimate vote cast by a citizen that had the right to vote.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
You could make the statement that they are denying hundreds of thousands of people the right to vote. But wait. That's not the case, Joe. If they generate enough bogus ballots to win elections, They denied everybody the right to vote because they made the decision and we did not.
Well, and also Rob Bonta, the Attorney General of California, in his statement that what the sheriff is trying to do by investigating these 650,000 ballots he's subpoenaed out of Riverside is sowing discord and distrust in the election. No, telling him he can't check those ballots is what sows the discord and the distrust. And I remember it was New Year's Eve. Pardon me. It was New Year's Eve 2020, and I forget which channel it was, but it was running hearings. It must have been that final week of December of 2020, and they were holding hearings in Fulton County, Georgia, and this corpulent fellow with a beard was up there explaining how all these ballots in Georgia are supposed to have a barcode on them to make sure that it can't be scanned twice. And you were talking about paper stock, and they found thousands of ballots in Fulton County that didn't have the barcodes on them, and the judge dismissed that because he said it was insufficient. That was the first place I heard insufficient evidence to indicate that the election results could change.
Joe, I'm just going to leave with what Linus from Charlie Brown said. Peanuts. If it can be destroyed by the truth, it deserves to be destroyed.
But that's but they're not letting the rhetoric, the play acting.
Yes.
And Louise wrote in earlier to an email, frustrated, not knowing what to do because a lot of her friends, they see even what we would consider to be mainstream publications, Newsmax or Fox News, reading the Wall Street Journal, and they're pitching narratives that are decidedly Trump is a danger, Trump lied, people died, Trump started a war in Iran. No, Jimmy Carter started the war in Iran. You can make the case that Mr. Dulles started the war in Iran. However you want to slice it, the war in Iran was on before Donald Trump got there. He's just decided, like he did with so many of the other wars we're in, it's time for us to end this mess. And we have to be the ardent, not celebrants. I don't want people to be sycophants running around just, sounding like so many members of the congressional Trump chorus. I want us to intellectually engage and understand, and I may be the first place to do this, you tell me, Dr. Clark, is in an empathetic place where you understand why somebody would feel the way that it is. It's not because they're corrupt or they're an idiot or they're duped or they're ill-formed. They've just been lied to so often that it becomes the truth, and you have to have that empathy first. Maybe is that the key, do you think?
I know we've been lied to.
You're finding it difficult to have empathy for somebody who's been lied to?
Oh, we're like a Tracy Lawrence song right now. We've been cheated on and pushed around and left alone and lied to. But
what's the function of that?
The fight, right?
What is the function of that? What is the end result of that?
Joe, I wonder if we're not going to just have to storm the Bastille one of these days to get it back.
This is and we'll all wind up in the January 6th wing of whatever penitentiary. This is
okay. Whoa. That was what they called an insurrection. They keep it up and they'll see an insurrection, and that's going to be different.
Yeah, but my worry in that, Clark, is all the people, and I'm talking about conservative people too, when they start talking about doing stuff like changing the government and the system's broken. I have not seen, to be fair, most of them don't have a plan for what happens next, and that worries me in and of itself tactically. But the ones who do have a plan, I don't like their plans for what comes next. So I'd rather keep the system we've got and fix it and sanctify it, polish it up, strip it, and get a new coat of varnish on it.
I think their goal is to get us to the point where we do something like that, Joe.
It's not a flaw, but a feature. You have a good morning, Clark.
Yeah. Take care.
434-882-4217. That's how you engage and tell us how the news of the day is impacting you.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
This is an urgent announcement for anyone that's $10,000 or more in debt. Before you make another minimum payment, you need to know there are special programs that can completely free you of your debt. Total Financial Freedom can help you become debt-free in months instead of years. Resolve your credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and timeshares. Call Total Financial Freedom now at 800-878-6020 for a free consultation. For 16 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands get out of debt. You can feel confident when calling because Total Financial Freedom is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Battling for years and years, stuck in the endless cycle of minimum payments could take decades. You have the right to get your debt resolved and substantially reduce your monthly payments. Call Total Financial Freedom now at 800-878-6020. That's 800-878-6020. 800-878-6020.
And good Wednesday morning to you. It is March 25th, and it is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Shingle Springs. Currently 60 degrees right now. Looking for a high today of 77 degrees. All right, there's the sports ball music. Let's get right into it, starting on the hardwood in the NBA. Yesterday, Kings at the Charlottesville Hornets. Here's what it sounded like from the court.
Small things here in the second quarter have been really impressive. Renaud hits his first three-pointer.
Renaud from away downtown. The Kings were behind 39-55 at that point, and well, they never did get ahead in the game there, at least not for very long. Hornets win that one 134-90 there. Kings get another L. Let's see if we can get a win on Thursday when they play again against Orlando. That's going to be at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You can catch the action here on KAHI. Again, Kings playing again on Thursday at Orlando at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Other scores around the NBA yesterday. Knicks over the Pelicans, 121-116. Magic and the Cavaliers. Cavs win that one, 136-131. And Nuggets outshine the Suns there, but just barely, 125-123. All right, gang, I am here for it. Let's go. Today is opening of Major League Baseball. The Giants are going to be hosting the New York Yankees at home at Oracle Park. It's going to be at 5:05 p.m. And yes, you can catch all of the action and all of the Giants games here this season on KAHI starting tonight. Giants at home hosting the Yankees there. Let's hope we can get the... does the Giants have the equivalent of lighting the beam, blow the foghorn, something like that? I don't know. Anyway, it looks like it's going to be about 55 degrees tonight, so if you're heading down to the bay there, definitely bring yourself a jacket. But let's go. Baseball is back tonight, starting with the Giants and the Yankees, 5:05 p.m. Listen to it here on KAHI. All right, we'll be back with your KAHI weather right after this.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Wednesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies. The dry weather will continue. The high in the mid to upper 70s today. Southwest winds 6 to 12 miles per hour. Light variable winds tonight. Scattered clouds and low 50s by morning. It'll be in the mid-70s on Thursday with plenty of spring sunshine to go around. A little bit warmer, 75 to 80 Friday, mostly sunny skies in the forecast. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
KAHI AM and FM is once again your foothills home of Sacramento Kings basketball and Sharks hockey. Join Gary Gerald for every Kings game this season on FM 104.5 and 950 AM. Your home of the Kings and Sharks.
33 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:33 a.m. Gang, that's going to do it for me for today and for this week. I got some travel coming up here the end of this week, tomorrow and Friday, and also on Monday. Be back and again in the hot seat here in beautiful, spacious Studio A back on Tuesday then. And so until then, thanks for allowing me some time to be away on the road here. But until we see each other again early Tuesday morning, as always, remember to be kind, be honest, be yourself, and remember you can't hate somebody if you're hugging them. Again, if today is your birthday, a happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day. All right, we're going to finish out this hour with JT in the morning and the O'Reilly Report here on FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, Voice of the Foothills. I'll see you back here Tuesday morning.
Some folks because I brought up an issue with Mississippi in our flagship state of Virginia. And I guess the last time I brought up this story was when somebody told me early October, I was told that there was no way that Jay Jones would get elected Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Virginia because he had unapologetically said you should shoot somebody in the head twice because they disagree with you politically. And I said, I'm sorry, we elected a man to be governor in 2013 despite everyone knowing that he was being chased down by the Mississippi government for defrauding their taxpayers out of $1 million in seed fund money to start an electric car company. They even had prototypes of this thing. And there he was, and Mississippi was, and I believe still are, in pursuit of that $1 million from Terry McAuliffe. We should ask, I know his wife is now running for Congress in the 7th District, I think, of Virginia. We should ask Dorothy if Terry has ever successfully paid back Mississippi for or at least the Mississippi taxpayers for the $1 million he defrauded them out of. So they gave him the seed money. This goes into why you shouldn't have all this government investiture. So Terry McAuliffe comes looking for government seed money to build his electric car company and starts in Virginia. He lives in Virginia and starts with the Virginia government, which at the time, Tim Kaine was the governor, also of Terry McAuliffe's same political party. And Tim Kaine's administration found his application to be so spurious, they said, no, Terry, probably not going to give you the money for that startup. So he went shopping around for a state that was going to give him the money for this startup. They were going to build a factory, build these to call them cars is charitable. They were like golf carts with full panel doors on them, I think is the best way to describe them. Slightly more body panels than one of these ATVs. So Terry wanted to build this company, and he finally found $1 million ready to come out of the pockets of the Mississippi taxpayers. So I said, that I'm here. They're like, oh, it's another one of them Virginians. But I was asked about what I meant by that. People hadn't heard the story of Terry McAuliffe and his fraud against taxpayers. But that's the thing. We don't even think fraud against taxpayers is a thing anymore. And our friend John Sutz, do we have the clip of John? We should keep that clip of John where he talks about 50%. He's got infographics up at his site on his Substack page, John Sutz, JONSUTZ. infographic showing that 50% of the population of the United States contributes 3% of the federal budget. And that's how we get away with it. That's how somebody like Terry McAuliffe gets away with it, because we shrug and we say, good for the greedy bastards. Soak those taxpayers. I'm not one of them. I get a refund check. Sometimes my refund check is bigger than the amount of money I paid. Oh, yeah, it's great times in America, where you can get a refund of more than you actually paid in. And somehow they don't call that socialism. Yeah, I know. It's all in a name. This is, kids, they should have taught you, English as a second language, statistics as your first language. So anyway, that was the Terry McAuliffe point. Then this email on the subject of the Strait of Hormuz. Joe, thank you for playing the John F. Kennedy clip. I had forgotten he was talking about space as a place to make sure that we were protecting it from being militarized. Do you think that we're militarizing space now? Well, here's the gag. Do we have the Kennedy speech? This is the famous, we will go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. So I have the whole speech, which includes the other things there that led us into space. And now I think we're going back. Somebody was telling me that we've got a moon mission coming up. First one since Apollo 17, I think, is the gig. But he was talking about making sure space was a safe place for people to not fear for their lives, to protect these oceans. Yeah, there it is. That's the one I want. Yeah, go ahead from the start there.
Old. New ignorance, and rested, and wish to look behind them.
Yeah, jump into the. You saved the ignorant stuff about me. Okay, thank you. That's it.
For the eyes of the world now look into space, to the moon, and to the planets beyond. And we have vowed that we shall not see it governed by a hostile flag of conquest, but by a banner of freedom and peace. We have vowed that we shall not see space filled with weapons of mass destruction, but with instruments of knowledge and understanding.
So that was the clip I wanted, that part right there, because all the peaceniks, they say, see, and we've got Star Wars, and now he's got, Star Trek, and, President Trump wants space bombers, and he started the Space Force. And here's the dirty little secret. Jack Kennedy, as a naval officer, knew this. In order to make sure that space or the Straits of Hormuz are safe for all, you need military presence there. So when Jack Kennedy is talking about making sure there aren't weapons of mass destruction in space, he meant except for ours, because we're going to be the police department there. We're going to be the one policing this vast new sea of opportunity. And the Strait of Hormuz, the reason I brought up the Kennedy speech is the Strait of Hormuz is of the same ilk. If we are to defend this sea or this ocean, this trade route, we need to be there. And it goes to what we were talking earlier about. Interestingly enough, now Iran is claiming the authority to charge a $2 million per boat tariff, if you will, toll on these. And I don't know if they'll have an easy pass lane and a cash only lane, whatever it is. $2 million per ship in hostage money. There's already 800 ships backed up at the Strait of Hormuz, yet people are still convinced the Iranians are the victims here. They're claiming sovereignty over something they don't have sovereignty over. It happens to be a body of water near them. But if you're going to threaten, I mean, this is far worse than anything that happened before any of the other conflicts. I mean, this is in a lot of ways, ethically anyway, connected to what Saddam Hussein did in Kuwait. So Saddam Hussein invades Kuwait for no other good reason except that just the week prior to the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait, Kuwait had called Saddam Hussein and said, when are we going to start seeing a payback on that loan we gave you? And we don't know what conversations went on, but I imagine it went something along the lines of, I tell you what, I have a tank division that's heading your way, and they'll bring that first payment back there with you. It'll be in the tank. You'll see a flash, and that'll be the payment coming to you. So guaranteeing safe passage is perhaps, again, debatable. You can debate, the most important job if the world's most dominant power.
In 2024, the American Heart Association celebrates 100 years of life-saving service as the world's leading nonprofit organization focused on heart and brain health. Heart disease still kills more people in the United States each year than all types of cancer combined, but more than half of Americans are unaware of this fact, according to a recent Harris Poll survey conducted for the American Heart Association. However, the majority of heart disease is preventable. New research has improved the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of heart disease and its risk factors. Efforts led by the American Heart Association have reduced deaths from heart disease by half over the past century and helped people with heart disease live longer and more productive lives while managing their condition and risk factors. To learn more about the American Heart Association's Century of Service and how you can help, visit heart.org/centennial.
We are the entertainment you love and information that shapes your day. We are your lifeline. We are your companion.